Under a clear sky with a game time temperature of 62 degrees, we welcome you on this Good Friday afternoon to the campus of Oklahoma Baptist University in Shawnee for the final two games of the 23rd ranked Oklahoma Baptist softball series with Southwestern Oklahoma State. Hello again, everyone. I'm Todd Miller, joined again on this Good Friday afternoon by Clayton Kaufman of the entire Bison Sports Network crew. We are glad to be with you as OBU looks to continue their grip on the top spot in the Great American Conference after a 6-0 series opening victory yesterday behind Kaylee Jones. The Bison begin the day a half game ahead of Harding for first place in the conference. OBU and Southeastern are both 16-5. Harding will play Ouachita, a doubleheader today and a single game tomorrow in Arkansas, so they could again forge a three-way tie depending on how everything shakes out in the conference both today and tomorrow. Let's take a look at the Great American Conference standings through last night's action, and again there were only 3 games in conference play. Southeastern, OBU are 16-5. Harding is 15-5. Southern Arkansas is 14-6. Arkansas Tech is 12-7. Arkansas, Monticello, and East Central both lost yesterday to dip to 10-11 of the conference standings. Southern Nazarene is 8-10. Henderson State, a winner yesterday, 8-13. Northwestern is 6-15. Ouachita is 4-16, and Southwestern of the Cellar at 4-17. But Clayton Kaufman, you don't want to belabor the point. We talked about it yesterday. This time of year, everybody's starting to play their best softball. You can throw out records. We saw that yesterday. It was a 1-0 game until the Bison scored 5 in the bottom of the 6th inning against the team that currently is in last place in the conference. Nothing is given. Everything is earned at this level.
You got to come out ready to play. A 9-30 team was down 1-0 late against our 23rd ranked Bison, and I know Coach Maples and assistant coach Jace Brewer really got on the team afterwards. You got to come out a little bit faster, especially on the offensive end, and not relegate your offense to just one good inning.
And we'd made mention of this in the broadcast yesterday. I just thought OBU looked a little flat. I mean, they didn't play poorly. They didn't commit an error, but they weren't as aggressive and attacking as much against Brianna Cryer as we've seen them attack other pitchers. And I think you're right. I think the coaching staff, despite that 5 or 6-0 win yesterday, fully has this team's attention. And I think Southwestern will get the best of Oklahoma Baptist today.
No doubt. And for our young ladies, you got to realize, as you said on the air, we are one of the teams now in this 2023 season. You got to be up every day. This is not like just because Vanderbilt in the SEC has struggled in football for decades doesn't mean they're not going to go out and give their best. You got to be ready for that as a Bison softball player.
Oklahoma Baptist 31-9 after the win yesterday, 16-5 in the conference. SWOSU 9-31, 4-17 in league play. Southwestern, though, has proven they can play with and beat some of the best teams in the conference. They played the defending national champion Rogers State Hillcats to a very close doubleheader margin. They've beaten Harding, one of the 5 losses that the Lady Bisons have in conference play. They also have beaten Arkansas Tech. So this is a team that has the ability to play with. We saw it for 6 innings yesterday and beat some of the best teams in the conference. I think where they are right now, Clayton, is just believing that they can win on a consistent basis. We mentioned yesterday that SWOSU as a program has not had a winning record since 2012. That means a lot of these girls were in elementary school the last time that SWOSU had a winning record in softball. So that's a mentality that I think Jessica Boone is trying to turn around in Weatherford, and I think with time she will indeed get the program turned around.
Yeah, Todd, we got to work with her last year on Bison Hill, a joy to work with in the communications department, and I know Coach Maples, she mentioned in yesterday's pregame how much she impacted our program going forward. Last year we had those 33 wins. Speaking of the Bison, we're going to eclipse that this year. And for Coach Boone, a young gun in the softball coaching ranks, she's learned around a lot of good coaches, most recently Sam Maples.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, Clayton sits down with head coach Sam Maples as our pregame show continues on this Good Friday from Shawnee here with the Bison Sports Network.
We're getting set for today's doubleheader with the Southwestern Oklahoma State, and we're rejoined by Bison head softball coach Sam Maples. All right, Coach, I know we left some stuff off the field on the offensive end yesterday. Obviously, that's going to be a point of emphasis coming back today in this doubleheader.
Yes, absolutely. I think we want to stick to our game plan. We want to attack strikes early, and we really are looking for our offense to be in control and really take those at bats seriously. We understand first time through the lineup, we've got to kind of see what the strike zone is, see what they're throwing at us, and maybe make some in-game adjustments. But we definitely look to be in a little bit more control today.
We did have some good moments on the offensive end as well. We had a couple 2-out hits. The first one from Sammy Green gave us the lead for good, really. But there were some good takeaways, especially with runners on base and 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah. We definitely made some adjustments. We just waited till the 6th inning to do it. No, Sammy Green, she's been a spark plug for us all year. And, we always look to her, Emily Adler, just some kids that are clutch for us and come through a lot. So, no, we're excited about what that's going to look like today.
We'll flip to the defensive side. Speaking of Emily Adler and also Addie Reese, there was a couple of pop-outs that were very difficult for us to get yesterday. Shallow outfield. I thought our defense was awfully good throughout the 7 innings.
Yes. They struck a couple balls well, and then they had some flares, which are tough in the wind. Yeah. I think Addie Reese made a fantastic play. Emily came up with one that almost always falls in for a hit, and kind of allowed our outfield to play a little further back because our middles cover that ground so well. So, no, we did fantastic on defense yesterday, yes.
And in the circle, Kaylee Jones, it was just a really solid outing from her. A lot of ground ball outs, and then they never really got a hold of her, which happens a lot, has happened a lot this season.
Yeah, they've got a couple of hitters that swing it well. But no, I thought she pitched well, and that's something that we've emphasized a lot that I talked to our pitchers about is throwing versus pitching. You've got to come out, especially this late in the season, you've got to pitch. You've got to really, work on your spin. If you're maybe a little tired, it's late in the season, you got to compete. And sometimes it's not always with your best stuff, but I definitely felt like she was in control yesterday and did a great job competing for us.
Coach, you and Jace Brewer had a lengthy post-game talk with our girls. How do you think they're going to respond today? We did get the win yesterday. Nothing to really put your head down, but there's definitely something we can always learn, and we've done that really well this season, bouncing back after, learning moments.
Yeah, I think, our message to them was just simply, like we talked about yesterday in pregame, was to stay in the moment and don't look around and wait for somebody else to do it. You be the one that goes up and gets it done. And we had some good at-bats. We just felt like there was a couple innings where we went down 1, 2, 3. And that can't happen when we're trying to be in control with our offense. And so that was really our message to them, is that we want to see a little bit more from them today, and certainly making adjustments sooner than the 6th inning.
Yes, ma'am. My final thought for you, we've had contributions come in from seniors all the way down to the freshman class, none bigger than Allie Ryan's 3-run bomb yesterday. What does that say about the testament of our team, that it doesn't matter if it's a newcomer all the way up to the senior class?
Yeah, we've got depth. We worked that hard in the fall to ensure that we had multiple girls at each position that could step in at any moment and get the job done, and we've shown confidence in that, especially working in preseason, where we gave kids a lot of opportunities, and I think that's going to pay dividends in the stretch and late in the season for us, where we know we've got 15 to 18 athletes that we can trust out there, that we can throw them out there in almost any situation. So,
Coach, thanks for your time. We'll catch up with you afterwards.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
That was Bison softball coach Sam Maples. Her team going with a doubleheader today against SWOSU coming up at 1 o'clock. Todd Miller and I on the call. We'll be back.
Thank you very much, Clayton Coppin, and thank you very much, Sam Maples. One side note on Sam. Yesterday was her 116th victory as head women's coach here at Oklahoma Baptist. That is the most by any OBU softball coach in a 5-year span, and she still has at least another month to go here in year number 5. Time now for a look at today's starting lineups. First of all, for SWOSU, leading off for the Lady Bulldogs and playing shortstop, Maddie Rayhan. Not much changes at all for Jessica Boone today. Batting second, the designated designated player Kaylee Barkley. Batting third in right field is Jordan Wadley. Batting cleanup in left field is Katie Boleen. Hitting fifth for SWOSU, catching Danny Carmo. Hitting sixth at first base, Caitlin Delaney. Batting seventh for Southwestern in center field, Skyla McPhillips. Hitting eighth for the Lady Bulldogs at third base, Soraya Jones. And batting ninth at second base, Sky Tilley. One more time for Southwestern, it is Rayhan at short, the DP Barkley, and Wadley at right. Boleen in left, Carmo catching, Delaney at first, McPhillips and center, Jones at third, and Tilley at second base. Here's the starting lineup today for OBU. Leading off in right field, Reagan Ford. Batting second in center field, Sammy Green. Hitting third at shortstop, Emily Adler. Batting cleanup, the DP, Morgan Max. Batting fifth for the Bison at first base, Kennedy Clark. Hitting sixth at second base, Addie Reese. Batting seventh and catching, Sam Campos. Hitting eighth at third base, Allie Ryan, who had the big 3-run home run of the sixth yesterday, her first career as a Bison. And batting ninth and in left field is Sydney Adler. Those are the starting lineups. We'll be back for the first pitch from Aspen Younts right after this on the Bison Sports Network. Thirds innings, 79 hits, 26 runs, 24 earned with 74 strikeouts and 17 walks. And the competition hitting .292 off of Aspen Younts. So Southwestern's lone 300 hitter will lead off here in the first inning, Maddie Rayhan. Rayhan had a second pitch double yesterday to start the ball game, and that was the last hit that Southwestern would have from Kaylee Jones. Maddie Rayhan is hitting .323. The double yesterday was her seventh of the year. She's homered once and driven in 13. Southwestern dead last in the Great American Conference and team batted average at .230. And one of the keys yesterday, I thought, was the limit of walks, only 2 for the conference most prolific team in terms of drawing walks. Aspen Younts, the right-hander against Maddie Rayhan. Beautiful, good Friday afternoon, and here we go from Shawnee. The first pitch is in there for a strike, and it is 0-1. Rayhan, again, hitting .323. This is her 40th game played, all starts. She has missed just one game this year for SWOSU. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Chased one away and slaps it back to the screen. No balls, 2 strikes. Aspen Younts has made 2 prior appearances a year ago against Southwestern, and neither one were really particularly impressive, but then again, Kaylee Jones did not pitch well in Weatherford last year against SWOSU. 4 total innings for Aspen a year ago. They pitched just wide, 1 ball, 2 strikes. She gave up 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. And the 6 hits and 6 earned runs came in just 1 inning last year in Weatherford against this ball club. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and a liner foul up the right field side. So Maddie Rayhan is battling. Rayhan is the second most difficult player in the Southwestern lineup to strike out. 14 strikeouts. Only Kaylee Barkley, who is on deck, has struck out fewer, and she has gone down 8 times. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just wide, the count's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rayhan yesterday was 1 for 3. The double we talked about in the first inning, grounded out assist to first, and then out second to first in her final at bat in the 6th. Bison won its 6th in a game that was much closer than the final score might indicate. Slow roller foul on the third base side. So this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat now for Maddie Rayhan. Clark at first, Reese at second, Emily Adler at short, Allie Ryan at third. Cynthia Adler is in left, Green in center, Reagan Ford in right. They are straight up and fairly deep, especially with Cynthia Adler in left with that wind out of the east at about 10, pushing the ball out towards left. There's a liner and into right field for a base hit. So just as she did yesterday, Maddie Rayhan leads the game off with a base hit, this time off Aspen Younts. And here is Kaylee Barkley. Clayton, you talked about something with Sam, and we talked about it yesterday during the broadcast. The play that Adler turned into, that little sinking line drive that would have normally been a base hit, if she doesn't make that play, no harder than it was hit, Rayhan probably comes around to score after the leadoff double. Because of that play, they stranded Rayhan at second, and Southwestern was unable to get the momentum. Bud is down, charging is Clark, to Reese covering at first. A 5-4 putout, and the sacrifice in place as Rayhan moves to second.
That was perfectly executed right there. A few feet across home plate. Nicely done on the 5-4 sac bunt.
Don't you agree, though, that play early in the ball game completely turned the complexion of that ball game?
Yeah, absolutely. It's that blooper, that shallow outfield, and you have to have a great defensive effort, and Sydney Adler did that.
Here's Jordan Wadley, left-handed hitting right fielder for Southwestern. OBU wearing the All Blacks today, and the first pitch is outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Jordan Wadley, 4th of the club, hitting .234. She is one of a handful of Lady Bulldogs that have played and started in all 41 games this year. No score, leadoff runner on, a sacrifice to second, has Southwestern with a threat early. Now the pitch, lifted out of play, third base side, 1 ball, 1 strike. Aspen Younts against left-handers this year is allowing a 274 batting average. Lefties against OBU's pitching staff batting just .220. Here is Aspen's 1-1 pitch. Outside, and the count's 2 balls and 1 strike.
We were getting that pitch yesterday, that outside corner. Maybe a little bit off there from Aspen, but so far a different bit of zone for this game.
Wadley hitless in 3 at-bats yesterday. 1 for her last 10 and 1 for her last 12 over 4 games. That ball popped up and a blowout of play over the Bison dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good crowd here on this good Friday afternoon, and why not come out and watch some nationally ranked softball between 23rd ranked Oklahoma Baptist and Southwestern. First time in the Division II era, a nationally ranked team is called Shawnee home. 2 balls and 2 strikes in the pitch upstairs, and it's 3-2. Jordan Wadley last had a multi-hit game back in the middle game of a series on April the 1st against Southern Nazarene. Told you since then she has gone 1 for her last 12. 0 for 3 here in the series thus far. And the pitch lined up the middle, and that'll do it. Base hit coming home to score is going to be Rayhan. Now they pull her back, and a good throw coming in from Sammy Green. That probably would have cut her down at home plate.
Yeah.
And a good decision by Jessica Boone, who initially looked like she was going to try to score Rayhan.
Yeah, Todd, we know Sammy Green's defensive capability in center field. She had a couple of those, send her, 8-6-2 putouts at home last year, and good call by Jessica Boone not to send the runner.
Had a huge outfield assist here against nationally ranked Southern Arkansas. Cut down at the time what would have been a go-ahead run in a game, the deciding game of the series that OBU eventually won. Here is Katie Boling hitting .275. First pitch is a strike, 0-1 the count. Boling has driven in 15 runs. That ties her with McPhillips for second, 4 behind Jordan Wadley. So the best threat for SWOSU in the series comes here with the first inning of Game 2. Younts delivers the 0-1. Fly ball left field. The wind is pushing it. That's over Adler's head and off the fence. And Southwestern will score their first run of the series. Digging for third is Wadley, and it's a stand-up RBI double for Boline. And Southwestern has come out attacking against Aspen Younts here early.
This is not what we wanted to see from Aspen. You know, we had that Southern Arkansas series where she started Game 2 and went 2 2/3. They hit her around 5 hits in those 2 2/3. And here's Sam Maples talking to her. Got to have to watch it here if you're Aspen Younts.
Maples is already out of the dugout. 4 batters in. Southwestern leading 1-0. Danny Carmo will be announced as the next batter. She is hitting in the number 5 spot and catching today. We told you Younts did not pitch well last year in Weatherford, but OBU didn't play well collectively as a team. 2 appearances, 4 innings, 7 hits. She's already given up a run on 3 hits here with this first inning with only 1 out. And that was a SWOSU sacrifice. She struck out 6 but walked 2. Home plate umpire started to walk out. Now Sam Maples turns and walks away. So the conference is over, and this is huge. 1-0, not insurmountable. 2-3 runs, not insurmountable. But, boy, you don't want to give a team that's struggling a lot of confidence early. And Southwestern certainly has that. Bison will pull the infield in, trying to cut down a prospective runner at home. And here's the first pitch. Outside corner for a strike, 0-1 the count. Danny Carmo yesterday was 0 for 2. She did draw a walk. Southwestern came in, lead of the conference in base on balls with 121, but Jones allowed just 2 free passes yesterday. Aspen Younts brings home the 0-1 pitch, and it's lined right at Adler. Throws back to third, and just getting back in safely is Wadley. So with any elevation, Carmo probably has a base hit. It had no elevation, was a routine liner to Adler, who almost had a chance for an inning-ending double play. So now 2 out. The infield can play back for Oklahoma Baptist, and up comes the first baseman, Caitlin Delaney. Caitlin Delaney hitting 240 games, takes a strike at the knees, and 0-1 the count. Caitlin Delaney has homered twice, so she has power. She's driven in 12. That ranks her in the top quarter of the lineup. Those 2 home runs account for 1/5 of the total for the Lady Bulldogs this year. They only have 10 coming in through 40 games. In comes the pitch. Downstairs, and it's 1-1 strike. So Younts is now facing her 6th Lady Bulldog here with this first inning, trying to limit the damage to just 1 run. Aspen Younts spins the ball, now brings home the 1-1 pitch, off speed and looked at for a strike. Can tell you, Caitlin Delaney was not expecting that pitch.
No, and Todd, that's Coach Maple said to me yesterday in her office. That's if Aspen has that off speed going, then she's awfully good and gets a good pitch right there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third with 2 outs here in the Southwestern first, and the pitch is outside, 2-2. Everything starting at 1 o'clock or later with the exception of 1 game of the conference today. Southeastern has taken a 5-2 lead with a big 3rd inning. They're now in the top of the 4th. Southern Nazarene's gotten 1 back. It's 5-3. Southeastern in the middle game of that series. And a pitch downstairs. Didn't miss by much. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the other tri-leader of the conference will play later today over in Arkansas. Harding taking on Ouachita, who is a game ahead or a half game ahead of Southwestern for last in the conference. 3-2 the count to Caitlin Delaney. Here's Aspen's pitch. And got her looking to the outside corner. That was a strike yesterday and had not been a strike today. And Delaney thought it was ball 4 and then has to quickly make a right turn and head to the dugout. 1 run, 3 hits for SWOSU. They leave a pair aboard. Underway here in today's first game, 1-0 Lady Bulldogs on the Bison Sports Network. Taryn Westbrook will go to the mound with something that Cryer did not have yesterday, and that is the advantage of an early lead. 1-0. Westbrook making start number 18, her 21st appearance overall. Record of 2-14, earned run average of 5.41. Second most innings of the staff, 95 2/3, 135 hits, 98 runs, 74 earned, 45 walks, and 32 strikeouts. Here's Reagan Ford to lead off the OBU first, shows bunt, and takes upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Reagan Ford yesterday was hitless, scored a run, drew a walk in the opening game of the series. Ford hitting .298 in 40 starts for Oklahoma Baptist. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Slapped at a play off to our left, and that evens it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Taryn Westbrook, 5'10", a junior right-hander out of Holland, Texas. Pitched 6 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned with a walk and a strikeout in the loss at Newman earlier this week. There's a called strike, and Ford in a 1 ball, 2 strike hole.
You're going to have to battle here down in the count.
Westbrook collects their thoughts, steps on the rubber, now deals, and that one is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Delaney at first, Tilley at second. Rayhan is at short. Jones is at third. Corners are pinched in for the slap hitter Jones. Middle infielders playing back. McPhillips in left center now. Little tapper back to the mound on 1 hop. Westbrook has it, and at a quick throw gets Reagan Ford for out number 1. The other corner outfielders, Boline is deep in left. And now it looks like maybe Delaney, the first baseman, was shaken up on that play. And Wadley, the right fielder, is at normal depth and straight away. So the only shift of the outfield for Ford was McPhillips towards the gap in left center.
That was an interesting sequence right there. The ball came right back to Westbrook on a 1-hopper, but the throw was not accurate, which is why Delaney's shoulder looks like she's maybe dinged it just a little bit there at first base, but she seems to be okay.
Here's Sammy Green with nobody on and 1 out. 1-0 Southwestern here at the bottom of the first. Sammy Green hitting .343, 24 hits, 7 extra bases, including 3 home runs and 12 driven in. Green yesterday 1 for 2 with an RBI and a walk to start the series, and she takes a called strike. Westbrook in the last conference series, Southwestern losing 3 to Southern Nazarene, pitched a total of 10 innings with 11 hits, 7 runs, all earned. Bunt is down, but it's foul. And now Green is behind, no balls and 2 strikes. 2 strikeouts, 4 walks, so it's easy to see why her record is what it is, Clayton, when you look at the base runner she's had to face. 135 hits now in exactly 96 innings of work and 45 walks. It makes for some long outings. Here's the 2-strike pitch, swing and a miss. She's come out firing here early and gets her first strikeout, and that's quickly 2. Bison retired here in their half of the first. See if the Bison can start something with Emily Adler, the league leading hitter at .435. 41st start, 54 hits, and 29 driven in. Adler yesterday 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored, and she takes a called strike and would win the count.
This feels a little bit like yesterday. I know we're only 2 batters in here for the Bison, but feels a little lethargic.
Emily Adler's 54 hits leads the conference, and that one is wide, 1 ball and 1 strike. Southwestern, under the direction of former OBU and Northeastern State assistant coach and former NSU player Jessica Boone in her first season. Here's the 1-1 pitch, lined off the netting, and Westbrook, who's thrown strikes to the first 3 OBU hitters at 1 and 2 in the count. A lot of lawn chairs out, a lot of short sunglasses on a terrific Good Friday afternoon. I have to keep saying that because today certainly feels like Saturday. Here's the 1-2 pitch, upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Woke up this morning and thought, well, the weekend's about half over already. Nope, it's just getting started.
Yes, my wife Allison said the same thing. Is it Saturday? I'm like, no, not yet.
Sure feels like it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a ground ball left field. Base hit, good piece of hitting by Adler as that ball was away, and she just rolled it through the 5-6 hole. First base runner is hit number 55 of the year for Emily, and that brings the go-ahead run in the form of Morgan Max to the plate.
Todd, yesterday we had a few, I think 4 of the 5 hits came with 2 outs yesterday. So a nice job there by Adler to get on, and we'll see if Max can do the same.
Morgan Max hitting .282. She has played and started now in 38 games, most as a DH. Max also has made 8 appearances and 2 starts on the mound. She takes a pitch away for a strike, 0-1 the count. See if they put Adler on the move, representing the tied run with 2 outs. Here the inning, the pitch. Fly ball, pretty well struck right field. Ballpark is not going to hold this, but it's off the scoreboard and gone. The wind was blowing a crosswind, meaning from the first base side towards left. As high as it was hit, I wasn't certain whether or not it was going to exit the ballpark and hit the scoreboard, and the Bison have a lead of 2-1.
Todd, the way Wadley was going back into right center field, I thought, this is going to be at the wall and an F9 flyout. But no, it just kept going and going, and Morgan Max now with another home run. That's her 3rd.
And RBIs number 21 and 22 for the newcomer. Here is the first baseman, Kennedy Clark, who's 2nd at .383 on the lineup. So the Bison give up 1. They quickly get 2 back, and the pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. That ball was really hit high, and I thought it was going to be enough to keep it in the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it just continued to carry and hit off the scoreboard in left center or right center. 2-1 Bison. There's a ground ball into the left field area. That's going to split the defenders, roll deep. Now Karams away from Bowling, and digging for second with a double is Kennedy Clark.
Nice.
Just on cue, partner. You talked about the 2-out hits yesterday, and here we are again today.
We're more than halfway to our hit total from yesterday. Here we are competing with 2 outs. We did that very well yesterday, and it's continued. That's a really good sign.
Addie Reese, the second baseman, will try to pick up Kennedy Clark. Addie, with a .319 batted average, takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. OBU already with 3 hits today. Yesterday they had 5. So they have 8 on the series so far and just under 7 innings of offensive work. They came in hitting .304, one of the tops of the league. Off speed, upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. So Westbrook got the first 2 OBU hitters. Adler singled to left, and then Max banged one off the scoreboard to give OBU a 2-1 lead before Clark split the difference out in left field for a double. 3-0 the count as Reese takes high and in.
It just goes to show you, you start stringing some hits together, then the pitching locations are starting to miss. Let's see if Reese can dig in here and get on. 3
balls, no strikes. Runner at second, 2 outs. Reese looks at a strike, and it's 3-1. We mentioned that Addie has a penchant for dramatic hits. She had one yesterday. That came in that 6th inning in which OBU scored 5 times. She had a 2-run single that made it 3-0 at the time, and a liner foul up the left field side. So it's 3-2. Then Allie Ryan, 2 batters later, homered for her first career collegiate home run. That made it 6-0. That's what the final ended. As Kaylee Jones retired SWASU 1-2-3 of the 7th. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Chase ball 4. So Addie is down. Second strikeout for Westbrook. However, the 2-run hit by Morgan Max gives OBU their first win of the day. We go to the second. 2-1. OBU on the Bison Sports Network. 2-1 Oklahoma Baptist after 1. Coming up at 2 o'clock in Weatherford, game 1 of the 3-game series between SWOSU and OBU. Brett Galbraith will start in an important first game for OBU. They begin the weekend in 8th, 1 game behind 7th place Southwestern in the Great American Conference standings. Busy students can keep up with their finances day or night using Tinker Federal Credit Union's convenient online services and mobile app. Visit them online at tinkerfcu.org for more information. Todd Miller, Clayton Kaufman with you. It's good to have Clayton back. We don't get to work together very often. Usually he's staring into a computer instead of out the window broadcasting sports.
I have to look at both, Todd. It's the computer and the game.
That's true. Yeah, you're still looking at a computer, aren't you?
Yes,
First pitch to McPhillips, popped out of play for a strike, 0-1 the count. If the score is not right on the computer, I'll give you Clayton's number. You can text him. He's the one running that today.
Or check the staff director email list, and you can find the athletic director's email too and say, what is this kid doing? No.
Oh, that's great. Aspen's 0-1 pitch. Swing and a foul tip, and it snowballs 2 strikes.
Man, high and inside on that pitch and got her chasing. Nicely done by Young.
Southwestern has and will strike out a bunch. They've done that a ton this year. 233 times now with 2 strikeouts in the first. Then comes the pitch. That one is outside, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. If I look at the right side of the scorebook, I can tell you it's not 2 but 1 strikeout for Southwestern, so I was right the first time, 232 strikeouts. They also draw a lot of walks, 123. Had 3 base runners in the first, 1 scored, did not draw a walk, off speed, fanned it, missed, and McPhillips is out number 1. That was a lazy swing, and she was really fooled by that pitch from Aspen Younts.
Nice off speed there from Aspen, and as we mentioned the last inning, if Aspen has that pitch going, she can be really good in the circle.
Soraya Jones will bat. Jones hitting 189 over 40 starts. Aspen leading 2-1 to the lower third of the lineup for Southwestern. Another off-speed pitch for a strike, 0-1 the count.
It freezes batters just so much. You know, you think it's coming in kind of level, and then nope.
2-1 Bison, top of the second, middle game of the 3-game weekend series. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's high, 1 ball and 1 strike. It looks to me that 1 swing of the bat is fired up OBU, and it looks like Aspen Younts looks a little more crisp, if you will, in this second inning of work. That 1 swing of the bat, the 2-run home run by Morgan Max. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Foul ball, and that almost hit Sam Maple. She hardly flinches sitting there in the open of the dugout near home plate.
Yeah, that's a good point, Todd. She's a seasoned vet. You can't panic on a foul ball.
Got to show toughness. Your team is watching. 1-2 the count to third baseman Soraya Jones. Second inning here from Shawnee. Aspen brings it home, and the pitch just outside. You could see Campos doing what she did yesterday, and that's framing the pitch, trying to snap it back in and by a call for the home plate umpire. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on, 1 out in the second. Here's the pitch on the handle. That'll just get over the backstop and deposit near the bleachers on the first base side. Soraya Jones yesterday in the series opener was 0 for 2. She has hit safely in just 1 of her last 5, make that 6, 7, 8, 9 games, but that was a 2-hit game against Newman earlier in the week, went 2 for 3. And a called third strike on the outside corner.
Aspen brought that back in, that pitch we saw out previous, a little bit off. This one right back near the edge of the plate. Nice location.
Here's Sky Tilley, last Bulldog to have their first look at Aspen Younts. Sky Tilley hitting .218. She has played in all but one of Southwestern's now 41 ball games. First pitch from Younts is ball 1. Sky Tilley yesterday was 0 for 2. That ended a 4-game hit streak for her in which she'd had 6 hits in the prior 4 ball games, 2 against Southern Nazarene and The 2 hits against Newman. That one is outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Southwestern led 1-0 after a leadoff single with Sacrifice, and then 2 batters later, the RBI double by Bolin. Bison managed to get 2 in their half of the first. Swing and a miss on an off speed. It's 2-1. After a 2-out single by Adler, and then the drive off of the right center field scoreboard by Morgan Max, her 3rd home run of the year.
Oppo tacos, as we like to call them.
2-1 pitch. That's high. 3 balls and 1 strike. If you lose Tilly, you're going to face Rayhan, who has half of the 4 hits Southwestern has had to this point of this series against OBU batting or pitching. Three-one pitch. Swing and a miss. Went right after it. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Right down Main Street there from Aspen. The first time that kind of had that fastball that came right down the middle, but good speed, and Aspen can really wing it at times.
Tilly's 25 strikeouts, the 3rd most among the regulars. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Little pop-up on the infield. It is Adler in front of the bag at second that has it. And after all is said and done, it's a clean 2nd inning for Youts. We played 1.5, Oklahoma Baptist 2. Southwestern, Oklahoma State 1 on the Bison Sports Network. Oh. 2-1 Oklahoma Baptist. They began today a half game in front of Harding, tied with Southeastern, both 16-5 in the league. Southeastern cruising now. They broke their game open in Bethany, top of the 5th, 8-3 Savage Storm. Here it's 2-1. Campos, Allie Ryan, then Sydney Adler. That is 7, 8, and 9 due up for Sam Maples' club. Sam Campos yesterday was 0 for 3. Campos is 1 for her last 17 since having a 4-game hit streak ended. First pitch from Westbrook, and there's a good swing at a liner that's down into left field. So all it takes is 1 pitch and 1 swing to get out of a slump, and that might have been it for Campos. Leadoff hitter on for the first time in 2 innings for OBU against Westbrook, and here's Allie Ryan, the 3rd baseman. Ryan yesterday 1 for 3. That 1 hit was a 3-run home run to the 6th, capping a 5-run frame and essentially putting the game out of reach for SWOSU. Allie Ryan, the freshman from Frisco, hitting .253 of the season. This is her 20th start. Pops that pitch up. It'll spin on a play on the first base side for a strike. We had been seeing Gwen Miller at 3rd base. Now we see Allie Ryan. Now, Allie may have been injured. I don't know for sure, but I know this. Sam said to you in the postgame yesterday, we've been waiting for her to take off. Well, perhaps that home run yesterday will be just like that, a takeoff for the freshman. Upstairs in the changeup, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Todd, we mentioned the depth of this team, and obviously when a freshman provides the game-clinching hit, a really good recruiting job has been done the last few years by Coach Brewer, Coach Maples, and Coach Boone.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Foul tipped it, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the testament to the depth. The Bison in 40 games this year have 59 pitch hit at bats. Compare that to what baseball has done. Not to say they don't have depth, but they don't use it near as much. They only have 11 pinch hit at bats in the year.
That is remarkable.
They have been riding their starters and veterans a lot offensively this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Allie Ryan. Bison pinch hitters of the season, hitting .254, 15 for 59. More depth than they've had in the pitching circle, perhaps in program history. And she's reaching out on her front foot and taps it foul. Mentioned yesterday that the program started in 1976. OBU last year and this year have given OBU softball 31 seasons for the fifth and sixth time since 76. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball inside. There goes the runner. The throw down to second. Not in time. Good slide that time by Campos. Kind of went to the back of second and then reached with her left hand and was able to avoid the tag from Rayhan.
Yeah, you use that base runner. You're kind of anticipating that ball being on the front of the bag, and that's just great coaching by our staff to get Sam her second stolen base of the year going on the backside.
62nd of the season for the Bison. Scoring opportunity here in the second with nobody out. Westbrook's pitch bounced to third. Scoop by Jones, looks to first, throws high, and heading to second or third base is Campos, and off to second goes Allie Ryan. So a throw-in error, E5, and the floodgates perhaps are about to open against Taryn Westbrook.
Yeah, that's an out you have to have. Cleanly fielded there at third by Jones. You got to make that throw to get the out.
I said she looked to first and threw to first. I meant to say she looked to second. I think when she did, she felt like she had to hurry the throw, and it sailed on her, and that's the first error of the ball game for Southwestern. Here's Sydney Adler. The left fielder takes a strike away, and it's 0-1. Sydney Adler yesterday in the series opener was 0 for 3. That's the first error for either OBU or SWOSU in this series this weekend. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Pulled it to the first base side. Glove by Delaney, who gave a long look to third, but Campos didn't break, and then Delaney had to rush to first to get the force.
That is a great play, though, by Delaney. Looking back at the third base runner and then adjusting to get the first out. Big play right there.
Reagan Ford bats for a second time. Reagan grounded back to the circle, her first time up. First pitch stays upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Reagan Ford of the season is hitting .250 with runners in scoring position. See if she can add to that here and thus add to a 1-run Bison advantage. Westbrook's pitch in the dirt. Good block by Carmo, as that will not allow the runner from third to score, and it's 2-0.
If you're the defense, though, with the way our setup is with the bricks, maybe 15 feet behind home plate, you're going to have a chance to get it out at home, even if there is a wild pitch.
2-0 the count. Certainly depends on who the runner is at third. There's a strike to Ford, and it's 2-1. Reagan of the season has driven in 9. Has 45 total bases. Most of her hits this year have been for singles. She's a slap hitter extraordinaire. And a liner up the middle and into center field. That'll score 1. Now they put the brakes on Allie Ryan. And it is 3-1 Oklahoma Baptist. Nothing slapped about that. She sent it right back up the middle and drives home her 10th run of the year.
We were really lucky that didn't go back into Westbrook's glove. I mean, it just got over by an arm's length, or that we would have probably had a double play right there.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, she put her arm, her glove hand up in the air, and it just barely by a few inches avoided finding that glove. Sometimes when things are going your way, they're going your way. Here's Sammy Green, who struck out swinging against Westbrook back in the first. Bison have scored in each of the first 2 frames, and there goes Ford, who will easily take second base. Reagan Ford with her 12th stolen base in 14 tries, and it's the second of the day for OBU. 1 ball, no strikes to Sammy Green.
Yeah, 1-0. Yep.
With Ford's speed at second, anything the outfield probably plates 2. Green lines that one foul into the right field area, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Campos singled, stole a base, went to third of the throw-in error, but the third baseman, Soraya Jones, came in to score on Reagan Ford's RBI single. The only out for OBU in this second inning was a ground out to first off Sydney Adler's bat. Westbrook's pitch. Outside corner, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Looked a little lifted from our vantage point back here, but they gave her the strike call.
One ball, 2 strikes to Sammy Green, the center fielder. Takes low, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Remember, it was Green yesterday that had that huge hit to really, well, it was our first run of the game, and one right here, you're going to feel pretty good going back on defense.
Yeah, that single came in the 3rd inning. It was actually a triple. And there's a called 3rd strike. So Green goes down looking. She's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. 2 of the 3 that Taryn Westbrook has registered. Sammy Green been swinging a really good bat coming to this one. So now 2 outs for the league's leading hitter, Emily Adler. She flies that ball into left field, didn't get enough of it. Boline is there, and the inning is over. So good job by Taryn Westbrook. She bowed an act, allowed just 1 run. She does it on 2 hits, an error, and OBU leaves 2. We go to the 3rd. 3-1 Bison here with the Bison Sports Network. Hi again, everybody, and welcome back here to Bison Softball Park. 3-1 Oklahoma Baptist with 2 of the first, 1 of the second. And here to call the 3rd inning is Clayton Kaufman.
Thanks, Todd. Aspen back in the circle. We'll get the live stats going, folks. If you're not following us, obubison.com, as well as all the teams on social media. Give us some follows. It does help us out to see the support across the country and here in Oklahoma as well. Yount so far today, 3 hits given up, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, no walks. So he's putting the ball in play, and we'll see what SWOSU can do about it as Maddie Rahone steps in. 1 hit today for Maddie. Now has an 8-game hitting streak. She had her 7th consecutive game with hit yesterday and came back earlier today with her 8th straight. We got Younts looking over at Coach Maples. Her pitch off of Campos' glove, but it doesn't matter. We get a strike called as we need to update the scoreboard there, folks. There we go. Top of the 3rd, 3-1, green and gold. 0-1 for Rahone. Just a perfect day. 62 degrees, no clouds in sight, and minimal wind. 0-1 pitch outside and little upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pretty interesting stat for SWOSU, trailing after 2 innings this season. 0-19, so they're going to have to battle here in the batter's box and get a run back or so as we get a pitch that hits the dirt in front of Sam Campos. 2-1 for Maddie Rahone. He's from Placentia, California, 5'4" sophomore. For Coach Jessica Boone and the Lady Bulldogs. 2-1 on its way. Outside and low, 3 balls and a strike for Rahone. Kaylee Barkley is on deck for SWOSU. Bison baseball about to get going over in Weatherford. 2 o'clock start time against the Bulldogs. We'll have some score updates for you as we're here in the Bison Softball Park. Now a full count for Rahone, and if you're Aspen Yount, probably just want to come right back down the middle and make Rahone beat you. Full count. Aspen spinning that ball in the right hand. Here's the 3-2 offering. And a foul ball, left wing, the dugout of the Bison. Looking at OBU's schedule, ahead next week we'll have a single game at Southern Nazarene, April 11th at 3 p.m. That was a close series, the doubleheader that we had against SNU a few weeks ago. Bison won that doubleheader. It took the series, but obviously we want to get 3 as we got a liner into right center field. Rahone's going to send that one hopper off of the right center wall, and that is a double for Maddie Rahone, who's got her second hit of the day. And a double for Rahone, and Swasu in business here. And Sam Campos going out to talk with Aspen Young. Slight break. Younts this season, when going against the leadoff batter, had given up a 377 average to opponents. So teams are seeing her as Rahone gets the double to right center. And Swasu with a chance here to cut into this 2-run deficit. That pitch high and inside for Barkley. Looking for her first hit of the day. 1-0. Give the Lady Bulldogs credit. They've been competing very hard against this 23rd ranked Bison squad. Second consecutive day now as we get a liner foul left side. 1-1 for Barkley, who's hitting .269 this season. Wadley on deck. She got a hit as well back in the first frame. Aspen taking her time in the circle. Here's the 1-1. Outside, off the bag. 2 balls and a strike. And we saw in that second game against Southern Arkansas, Aspen pulled after almost 3 innings complete, and you wonder if Swasu gets a little going here in this top half of the third, if Coach Maples would make that decision as we get a ball down in the dirt. Campos fell to her chest to get that. 3-1. All right, here's the next toss. Downstairs, and we have 2 on and nobody out here in the top of the third. So tying runs are on base for Swasu, as Wadley will step in. As we mentioned, a hit earlier today, batting .241, and we've got a break in the action. Sam Maples coming out to talk with Aspen Younts. We'll be right back, folks. Getting a few score updates. One to provide for you. East Central up in Alva taking on Northwestern Oklahoma State. They're up 8-2 late. And those GAC softball standings, East Central checking in at, let's see, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. They're in a decent spot to make the GAC tournament, which will start in 3 weeks. Make that 4, excuse me. Wadley in the box, shows bunt and goes foul left side. 0-1. So looking to put 2 in scoring position was Wadley, but couldn't get that one in fair play. But definitely the right spot. Another scored report, top of the 4th. Arkansas Monticello leading Henderson State 3-1. Thank you, Todd. Got to think Wadley's going to try to bunt again. She does. Back up the middle, and it's foul. So we get a little English on the ball there. Nothing in two. Two failed sack bunt attempts for Jordan Wadley, and another foul ball and a bunt will get it out here, which would be huge. Got to think Coach Boone's going to let her swing away. This is Coach Boone talking with Wadley, her junior right fielder. Nothing in two as Boone walks back to her third base bag. Oh, and 2. Let's see if Outspin can get out of this mess. There's her pitch. Outside, and good job by Wadley laying off on that one. Katie Boline on deck for SWOSU. The 1-2. Up into the air, heading into shallow center field. That's going to be a base hit. Well, it'll be turned into a fielder's choice, excuse me. It'll be an 8-5 put out at third of Rahone. So one down. Runners on first and second. It actually plays into the Bison's advantage right there. That little shallow pop-up as we get a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Nothing in one for Boline. Oh, and 1 for Boline. Here's Aspen's next pitch. Nicely done on the changeup. Man, she's hit that about 3 or 4 times today, and all of them have been pretty. Nothing in 2. Would we call that a fielder's choice? I think that's the right call. Here's the 0-2. Outside, a little bit low, below the knees for Boline, who's got that RBI earlier in the first. That provided the go-ahead run
the
initially.
Reason why that was a fielder's choice, well, it looked like a conventional base hit. There was an out recorded. And so, therefore, it takes away the base hit.
That's right. The lead runner got out, so turns into the FC in the scorebook. That pitch down the middle. Younce with her 4th strikeout of the game, 2 away here in the top of the third, and the Bison defense an out away from getting out of this pickle that they were put in earlier in the inning. Here's Carmo now up to bat. 0 for 1 today with a flyout. If you're SWOSU, you got to get these base runners going as we get a pitch in for a strike. Nothing in 1. And as Todd had mentioned a couple times in the last day or so, this SWOSU attack just hasn't done enough to get more wins, obviously, but putting pressure on defense has not been there for the Lady Bulldogs this year.
Well, it's really been where they've struggled. It's not that they have not had base runners. They don't hit real well, but we told you they lead the conference in walks coming into this series, but they just have had a devil of a time consistently moving runners and getting runners home.
Nothing in 2, so Younce a strike away from recording 3 straight outs. Here's her pitch. Liner into the glove at first base, and nicely done right there from Kennedy Clark to get the 3rd out. So SWOSU strands a couple of runners after getting 2 on with nobody out. We'll take a timeout. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. OBU leading 3-1. Bottom of the third coming up. Clayton Kaufman and Todd Miller with you. We'll have Morgan Max leading us off this frame, and Morgan this season as the leadoff batter, hitting .346. So see if she can get us going in the bottom of the third as the Bison nurse a 2-run lead here in the second game against Southwestern Oklahoma State. A Bison sweep today would tie the most wins the program has ever attained in Division II play. Last year they had 33. We're sitting at 31 now as we get a pitch upstairs to Morgan, 1-0. Taryn Westbrook so far today, 3 strikeouts, 5 hits allowed, 3 earned runs as that next pitch misses. 2-0 the count for Morgan Max, who had that 2-run homer in the bottom of the first with 2 outs. That gave the Bison the lead. There's the 2-0. Up into the air, popped up shallow left center, and that's gloved up by the shortstop, Maddie Rahone, for 1 down.
Now batting first base to number 19, Kennedy Clark.
Kennedy Clark coming into the box now for the Bison. She's got a hit today. There's 1 down as we'll get a pitch from Westbrook a little bit low. Not a bad pitch, but just off. 1-0 the count. Kennedy Clark with the double in her first at bat. She'll swing on that one, back into left center field. That ball's going to drop and go to the wall. She's going to turn that into another double. This one a stand-up double into left center. And that one rolled all the way to the wall for a nice piece of hitting.
Baseman number 6, Addie Reese.
Now Addie Reese is going to step in as you get a look at Kennedy Clark. Now a pinch runner coming in for the Bison. Looks like number 16, Shelby Warden. Yep. Shelby Warden from Oil Trough, Arkansas. Quite this town name there. And Shelby done a really good job in pinch running situations this season. So we'll have Addie Reese stepping into the batter's box now as the senior second baseman takes a first pitch outside corner for the strike. Now give OBU credit about, I think it was 3 times yesterday, they were retired in order. They've put base runners on every frame. So obviously a much better offensive day so far for the Bison is that delivery to Reese outside, 1-1. That pitch gets away from the catcher. I think we're going to give that a pass ball as Warden will advance to third. I can't tell if that hit the dirt in front of Danny Carmo, but I think she should have held on to that. So a runner on third. And the pitch to Reese, now a 2-2 count for Addie. A senior from Rose Hill, Kansas, looking to extend this Bison lead with a hit. She'll look on that one off the plate. And a full count for Addie. Sam Campos, our sophomore catcher, is on deck. Three and two for the Bison. And Reese puts that one down the right field line. It's going to tail foul. That was in no man's land for Addie. Just a little bit off from putting it in a danger spot for the SWASU defense. Still 3 and 2 for Reese, who had a hit yesterday and 2 runs driven in. She'll swing on that one, grounder right side, gloved up at second. Throw to first in time. It's a 4-3 RBI ground out by Abby Reese to make the score 4-1. Bison and Sam Campos will come in. OBU has now scored in 3 straight innings. They only scored in 2 yesterday. And it's 4-1 Bison. There's the pitch to Campos. A little bit off. Outside corner, 1-0. We've played almost an hour here at the Bison Softball Park. Clayton Kaufman and Todd Miller with you on the Bison Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in, folks, as we get a shot into left center field, and it's into the glove in left field by Bowling. A heck of a swing right there from Campos, and just didn't get enough of it to get the hit. But the Bison do add a run. They lead a 4-1 heading to the fourth. We'll be right back right after this, folks.
Welcome back here to Bison Softball Park. Todd Miller, Clayton Kaufman with you on this good Friday afternoon. 4-1 so far. It's been a good Friday afternoon for OBU. Tallying with 2 of the first, 1 of the second, 1 of the third, erasing an early 1-0 SWOSU lead. Lady Bulldogs will have Delaney, McPhillips, and Jones up against Aspen Younts. Aspen has struck out at least 1 Southwestern batter in each of the first 3 innings. She has allowed runners at 2 of the first 3. The only exception the second, when she went 1-2-3 through the bottom of the order. Caitlin Delaney, one of the 4 strikeouts today for Aspen Younts. Digs in for the right side. 4-1 Oklahoma Baptist here in the fourth. Aspen spins the ball, now brings it home. And it stays upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Aspen Younts made her debut back in 2020. That year she pitched a total of 54 2/3 innings. Here is the 1-0 pitch. That stays downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. In fact, Aspen Younts in her first 2 years here on Bison Hill worked a combined 170 2/3 innings. This is how she has developed the last 2 years. She has thrown over 203 innings. Foul ball back to netting, 2 balls and 1 strike. She currently is at 70 2/3 in her final year here at Oklahoma Baptist. Last year set a career high with 132 1/3 innings in the circle. OBU's out hit Southwestern 6-4. Bison lead at 4-1 here in the fourth. Here's Yount's pitch. Upstairs, didn't miss by much, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Baseball about to get underway in Weatherford. It'll be a single 9-inning game today. Tomorrow they'll play a doubleheader starting at noon. Aspen Younts brings home the pitch, and it is a called strike. Delaney made a stride like she thought it was ball 4, but then quickly pulled back. She knew it was a strike. In fact, she thought a similar thing back at her first inning at bat when she was called out on a, I would say, questionable 3rd strike. She thought it was ball 4. Here's the payoff pitch. Younts to Delaney, and she walked her. So Aspen gives up her 2nd walk. That's 4 on the weekend for OBU pitching. Now 125 for the Great American Conference leader in that category, Southwestern. Aspen last year, 4 innings of her 132-plus in the circle against Southwestern. Told you it was a bumpy weekend for OBU. They lost the first and third games of that series in Weatherford. First pitch upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes.
Todd,
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're just. I think too often Aspen getting behind in the count. We've seen that with the majority of batters so far. Got to work around that.
The only inning she really hasn't done that to at least some hitters was in that clean second inning, 1-2-3. He ounces pitch, good off speed, and it's 1-1 strike. Aspen is a first-year pitcher back in 2020, third of the team at ERA with a 4.48 earned run average. She was fifth as a junior in the conference in 2021 in strikeouts with 113. Last year, struck out 146 and had 7 wins. Struck out 12 against Northwestern against the Lady Rangers here in Shawnee on April the 9th. 2 balls and a strike. Wind continued to blow across the diamond from first to left. It's out of the east, upwards to 10, 15 miles per hour. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Liner up the right field side. That is a foul ball. Looked like it hit the chalk line.
Yes, that's what I thought too, Todd.
No argument at all from Southwestern, but that looked like it hit the chalk line.
Yeah, I thought I saw some white dust kick up there. I think I would have been protesting.
Jessica Boone is standing with her arms crossed in the third base coach's box. So a break for OBU and Aspen Younts. Instead of a double, it's 2-2 with a runner remaining at first. Here's Aspen's pitch. Swing and a miss. Down she goes. McPhillips took a mighty hack on one down and in. And that is strikeout number 5 for Aspen.
Yeah, Aspen has gotten 2 of those strikeouts on that really inner portion of the plate, and if you're the Swassa, you got to watch that.
She is into an escape hatch part of the lineup, and I mean that with all due respect. 4 of her 5 strikeouts have come to Delaney, McPhillips, and Jones. First pitch is ball 1 to Soraya Jones. Delaney struck out of the first looking. McPhillips has struck out twice swinging. Soraya Jones, in her only at bat, struck out at a called third strike back in the second. The only other strikeout was a Bowling, the cleanup hitter, and that was back in the third. Pop up, tailing foul, and out of play left field side, so it's 1-1 strike. Southeastern about to move to 17-5 in the conference. They lead in the 7th. In Bethany, they'll play the final game about 30 minutes after the final out of that one is recorded. Harding, the other tri-leader of the conference, will play a 4 o'clock game today against Ouachita Baptist. 1-1 strike, and the pitch. Called strike, and it's 1-2.
That seems to be the portion of the plate that we're getting. We've had a few change-ups for off-speed pitches from Aspen, but that outer portion seems to be the spot to go.
Southwestern has hit .064 in this series with runners on base. Laid off of a change-up. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Campos pounce on it, so no advancement. And they are 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. That one hit was the double by Katie Bowling back in the first inning. That gave them a short-lived 1-0 lead until Morgan Max homered off the scoreboard to make it 2-1. Pop up down the line and right, long run for Ford, and that hits the chalk line, and Ford cuts it off. Good play by Reagan as she holds her to just a single and almost threw it a second to force out Delaney.
Man, that was nicely done, and 2 plays right along that right field line now. That one was definitely inside of the line, and a nice job right there.
Here's Sky Tilley. See how they handle this. She represents the tying run. Do you sacrifice for the top of the order with Maddie Rahan, who has 2 hits and 3 hits on the series, 2 for extra bases. First pitch is a strike, 0-1 the count. The OBU today has 3 extra base hits. They have 6 of their 11 hits off Southwestern pitching this weekend going for extra bases. And comes the 0-1 pitch. Liner, glove by the third baseman. Throw to second for 2.
Oh.
Great play by Allie Ryan. She handled a bullet and then threw to Addie Reese as Delaney was off with contact, and it's a big 5-4 double play. A walk, a hit, but only 1 left. We move to the bottom of the 4th. 4-1, Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network. Make it now 1 for 13, Southwestern Oklahoma, with runners in scoring position of this series. And when things go your way, plays like that happen for you. When things are not going your way, plays like that happen against you. And that was a bullet that if it's a foot or two more to the left, it's probably a base hit. Instead, she hit it right at Allie Ryan. Ryan with a heads-up throw, 5-4 to Addie Reese to get the double play. Speaking of Allie, she will lead off the fourth inning.
Gwen Miller.
And we'll have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Gwen Miller. So Gwen Miller bats for Allie Ryan here in the fourth inning. Gwen's first at bat of the series. Miller hitting .357 in 31 appearances, and she takes strike one. Gwen has played in 31 games. 20 of those have been either as a pinch runner or a pinch hitter. Pop up, that'll spin out a play off to the right, and Miller in an 0-2 hole.
Yeah,
I mentioned earlier that pinch hitters for OBU hitting .254. Gwen this year is 2 for 5 as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, and looking at Gwen Miller's stat line, a couple of hits in the last 5 games, so probably why we haven't seen her in the lineup as we get a pitch outside, 1 and 2 now, the count for Gwen Miller. But, yeah, hey, an opportunity here to get something going in the bottom of the fourth.
Gwen, a sophomore from Roanoke, Texas, played at Byron Nelson High School. Here's the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just adds to the story that we were talking about, the depth of this ball club. 4-1 OBU. They got out of a jam of the fourth. Check swing, slow roller back to the circle. Westbrook to first, and there's one gone.
Just an easy play to make right there. A little slapper, soft swing by Gwen for the first out.
So Miller is out number 1 here with the first. Here is Cindy Adler, who came in among the team's leaders in hitting at .316, but is 0 for 4 on the weekend. Westbrook's first pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Top of the order with Reagan Ford awaiting on deck. Sammy Green, if anybody gets on here with the fourth inning. Westbrook has not been bad today. She has battled out there with a circle. Ground ball right to the second baseman, Tilly. And on to first, and that's 2 out.
Back to those.
So counting the RBI ground out by Addie Reese, that is 4 in a row set down by Westbrook. My friend, do not worry about it. There's 2 play-by-play announcers here in this booth. Which,
you're going to tell the fans
what I do when I do, and not do play-by-play, I did what I did a moment ago, put the headphones down and eat.
That's right, folks. Color analysts, we don't have them around here outside of football and basketball season, but we're working on it.
Here's Reagan Ford, drove home a run with a single back of the second, stole a base, and pops that one out of play. Two in the first, single runs in the second and the third for OBU. They lead 4-1. They've out-hit Southwestern 6-5. Bison have left 3 on, but not stranded a runner since the second when they left 2. A little slap shot, and that's foul on the third base side. No balls, 2 strikes out of the reach of Soraya Jones, and sent Chase Brewer kind of hopping back to try to get out of the play.
He was backpedaling like a defensive back out there, folks.
You don't remember Jace as a player. I do. He was a really good player at Washington. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Bouncing ball to third. Glove by Jones across the first. Ford beat it out for an infield hit.
Nicely done. And there you go, our leadoff batter with a two-out hit right there, and just turned on the jets and beat the throw.
It wasn't hit that sharply. And if you're going to play back on it the way Jones did, it's got to have a little zip on it to get Reagan for it. So Reagan with a 2-hit ball game, and here's Sammy Green. Sammy began today hitting .343. She has struck out twice. Shows bunt. There goes Reagan on the pitch. Throw down to second. And they missed the tag with Rayan.
Well, man, that was awfully close. I thought that was Rahone with the tag out, to be honest with you, Todd. Umpire's obviously a little bit closer than us, but I thought that was 2-6.
Bison have their third stolen base of the day, and Reagan Ford has her second. So a 2-out base hit picks up another run for OBU. Here's Westbrook's pitch. Popped up. That'll spin down the line in right, and that is just foul. So the count evens up at 1-1 strike. Reagan Ford with a 2-hit ball game. The first multi-hit game for her since she had a couple of hits against Southern Arkansas in the rubber game of that series here in Shawnee on March the 25th. Now you see Jace Brewer. Visiting with Sammy Green. Jace is from Washington. In fact, he still lives in Washington. But he was a terrific player for the Warriors. He was a great athlete, went on to play at Baylor and then into the professional ranks. He knows a thing or two about hitting, and he has used those pearls of wisdom to the betterment of this program. Down and in, 2 balls and 1 strike. Reagan Ford with just her second 2-hit ball game since March the 7th. That's exactly 1 month today. Bouncing ball left side. Rayhan has it over to first and safe. Another infield hit for Sammy Green.
Man, that's some great running right there by Green. Now we got runners on the corners for the Bison.
Now back for the Bison, number 1, Adler.
Here's Adler. So Reagan Ford and Green extending this inning by hustling down the line at first. And those will be key plays if Emily Adler drives home a run or more in this at-bat. It looked like Westbrook may be able to coast. She'd retired the first 2, but now more 2-out trouble. And that pitch is lowered away, 1 ball, no strikes. Entering the weekend, OBU, or actually through yesterday, the Bison had outscored their opponents by 50 runs with 2 outs in an inning. 77-27.
Sheesh.
1-0 pitch. 1 hop back to the mound. Glove by Westbrook to first. Inning over. Nothing comes of back-to-back 2-out infield hits, but 2 left. We go to the 5th. 4-1 Oklahoma Baptist of the Bison Network. Couple of changes for Oklahoma Baptist. Morgan Max, the DP, now will go to the mound, and Shelby Warden remains at first base. Morgan Max, a 5'6" utility player from Moore. Last pitch, 2 1/3 against Southern Arkansas. 4 hits, 3 runs, only one of which were earned with 1 strikeout, and a pretty solid day today, partner, for Aspen Younts.
Yeah, 4 innings pitched. She tossed 81 pitches, 5 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 5, and issued 2 walks.
So Morgan Max is into the ball game for a ninth time in the circle. Her seventh appearance, record 1-1, earned run average 2.74. Morgan allowing a 303 batted average against. She's only walked 8 in 23 innings and struck out 23 batters. Left-hander's first pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. So Morgan Max getting some work in the late stages of this first game of the doubleheader today. Max winds, brings it home, swing and a foul tip, 1 ball, 1 strike. Morgan Max, since March the 7th, 1 month ago today, making just her 4th appearance, and coming to this one, she'd worked a total of 5 2/3 innings in the last month of the circle. 1-1 the count. Lefty Morgan Max, right-hander Mahon at a called strike, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rahon has had a big weekend, 3 hits, 2 of those for extra bases. She has 2 of the 5 Lady Bulldog hits today. First inning single, she scored their only run, and a third inning double. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. Adler fields it and throws to first, and in time. Ball kind of rolled up on her arm, but she still stayed with it fairly cleanly and therefore able to get Rahon for out number 1.
Yeah, Todd, that took a kind of a weird hop into her belly, but she focused, got the throw, and made the out.
Kaylee Barkley, a sacrifice and a walk, will bat next. Morgan Max has allowed only 48% of the leadoff hitters to reach as she misses down low. Before retiring Maddie Rahon, the best Southwestern hitter here to start the Bulldog 5th. In comes the 1-0 pitch. Downstairs, 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, Todd, these moments where you get, a 3-run lead, you switch pitchers to help, 1, build confidence, and 2, give them the innings pitched in case we need them, come early May.
Top of the lineup, 1 through 4, much more productive in this series than they have been perhaps coming in. The bottom part has really done nothing to strike, and it's 2-1.
Well, yeah, you mean
in fact, 6 through 9 have only reached 3 times in 2 games. They only reached once yesterday.
It's crazy. I mean, we yesterday 1 hit and 22 at bats. I mean, Jones was near perfect, minus that double and then a couple of walks issued. But as good a defensive performance, and I think we kind of anticipated it going into this series.
They started the day 1 for 1, went 0 for their last 20 against Jones. How about that? Here's the 3-1 from Max. Lined foul up the first base side. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
A risky pitch to go. You're up 3-1 and get a check swing for a foul ball strike. All right.
We haven't seen the ball carry out to left like I thought we would. In fact, in the last inning, or in the 4th inning, should I say, I thought there was a chance that the ball off of the bat, or in the 7th inning, or 3rd inning, by Campos would be out of the ballpark.
Well, that last pitch was down and away, and we get a base runner there for Swasu.
So Jordan Wadley will be the batter, a single and a fielder's choice. Yeah, I thought Campos had hit it out of the ballpark back in the 3rd, but it just died out there and left. First pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Bison at number 1 of the Great American Conference, entering the weekend and 10th nationally in terms in team ERA. They also lead the country with strikeouts, with 345 before yesterday. Called strike, and it's 1-1. Aspen Younts today struck out 5. Yesterday, Oklahoma Baptist struck out 4 with Keely Jones. Here's the 1-1 from Max. Oh, look at that changeup.
That was pretty from Morgan.
1-2 the count. Talking about pulling a string.
Oh, the speed was that was a perfect off-speed pitch.
1-2 pitch comes down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Get a quick score update. Bottom of the 6th. Monticello up on Henderson State, 4-2.
UAM had Heartbreak City yesterday. They led late 4-3 going to that ball game. Henderson State scored a couple of runs. Here's the 2-2. A little tapper back to the circle. Max will go to second for one, and they just did get the throw there. And then the throw airmails over the first baseman, Warden's head, but hit the netting in front of the dugout and carried him right back into play.
Kind of a lucky play there for Emily Adler, our shortstop, because if that ball goes over the net and into the dugout, well, SWOSU gets another runner in scoring position.
Well, it turned out to be the right play for Max, but I'm going to tell you, I did not think initially she had a chance to get the throw to the bag before Barkley went sliding in. So they get the lead runner at first, now 2 outs, and a swing and a miss by Boleen, 0-1 the count. 4-1 Bison. We're in the 5th inning. 1 on, 2 out for the Dogs. Here's the pitch. Nice. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes.
A great job by Morgan there. Going low corner. Got her to swing. Very nice.
Southeastern has beaten Southern at Nazarene in the first game of their doubleheader, so they're assured of a series win. They're now a full game up on Harding and a half game ahead of Oklahoma Baptist. Pitch downstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's amazing. Southeastern now 23-17 overall, but they're doing a great job in the Great American Conference and are sitting really well with almost 3 weeks left.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Another change up, misses low, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Man,
it doesn't hurt to play good competition. In fact, I wish more schools did it outside of the conference, not just the Great American Conference. But the problem is they are tied for first, and they're not even ranked nationally. Southern Arkansas is in 3rd, and they are ranked in the top 25 as that ball's fought off to stay alive at 2-2.
Yeah, Todd,
Harding, Southern Arkansas, Oklahoma Baptist, all of the top 25 representing the Great American Conference.
Southeastern has played 5 ranked teams up to this point in the season. And one of those, really 4, Texas A&M Kingsville started the year 6, but quickly dropped out after a dismal start.
There's the 2-2. Busted her on the inside, and down she goes looking. So first strikeout for Morgan Max, and the inning is over. A walk, a fielder's choice, 1 left. We move to the bottom of the 5th. 4-1 Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Network. For what our score here in Shawnee, they are underway in the first of 3 games between the Bison and the Bulldogs in baseball. 2 out, top of the 2nd, Oklahoma Baptist leading Southwestern 2-0. Huge series for both the Bulldogs and OBU. They are in a battle for the 7th and 8th spots, the final 2 spots in the conference tournament if it ended today, and only 1 game of the Bison clear of 9th place Southeastern.
Yeah, Todd, with the way the tiebreaker is set up, if you're behind, you want to get series victories over teams ahead of you in the standings. And the Bison, obviously, are gunning for that this weekend at SWOSU.
Elena Rushing will bat in the position that Morgan Max was hitting, and she lines the first pitch down the left field line for a single.
Like the aggressiveness right there by Elena. Just went first pitch swinging and got a nice little floater there to left field.
Elena had been hitting .220. That's her 12th hit of the year, and a leadoff hitter here in the 5th. Here's Shelby Warden. Her first at bat. She came in for Kennedy Clark, who had a couple of doubles today. And she bunts that pitch back to the circle. One play for Westbrook in time to first, and Tilly covered. 1-4 on the sacrifice.
Great job by Shelby.
Reese.
Yeah, great job by Shelby right there. We've had a couple of those sack bunts right back up the middle. We get our first one today and runner back in scoring position. Key for us, you get early runners on, we want to move them over quick.
Well, they could put a ton of pressure on our defense when they get that first runner on. And the first pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes to second baseman Addie Reese. 4 runs, 9 hits now for the Bison, 1 on 5 hits and 1 error for Southwestern. Here's the pitch in the dirt as it bounces to the catcher Carmo, and it's 2-0. Infield remains the same. Delaney and Tilly on the right side. Rayhan and Jones on the left side. Moline, McPhillips, Wadley left to right around the outfield. Here's the pitch. Good swing and pops it up. That'll spit out a play off to our right.
Yeah, that was a really nice cut there from Addie, and just a little bit off on the timing there.
Addie Reese, 14 hits, hitting .333 with runners at second or third. Takes high, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Campos is on deck. Jessica Boone, the first-year head coach in Weatherford, she is the 5th coach in Southwestern program history. There's a pop-up, shallow right field. Out goes Tilly, and the second baseman makes the catch and somehow held on. And that's out number 2, so no advancement from rushing at second base.
I wonder if the sun had something to do with that. She does have sunglasses on there
that or
at
the
second.
wind. I mean, it could be blowing a little harder above ground level.
Yeah, for a moment there I thought Tilly was not going to come up with that ball, but she didn't.
Campos, a single, stole a base, scored a run that came back in the second, flied out to left, and that was the ball I was talking about earlier that I thought was gone off the bat. And she takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Rushing almost got herself overcommitted out there at second. You see her, she made a break.
Yes.
A little more than a third of the way to the third.
Yeah, she was about 10, 15 feet down the path there, but that was a nice catch by Carmo to keep that in her glove, because that was not a good pitch.
1-0 pitch. Outside quarter strike, 1-1. Bison 10-1 here at Bison Softball Park. Southwestern 3-11 on the road this year. Boone officially named SWASU's softball coach January 9th of last year. Spent last year here at Shawnee as an assistant. Good swing and a foul ball out of play first base side, 1-2. Prior to 2022, she had spent 4 years as an assistant coach in Tahlequah, assisting for her alma mater, Northeastern State. She played for the Riverhawks from 2015 to 2018. Here's Westbrook's 1-2 pitch. Bounces it to the plate, and it evens 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Trying to keep Campos guessing here, as obviously we've done a lot of damage in these, 7 or 11 and a third or whatever in total game time. But the Bison have done really well in this situation.
There's been a lot of differences this weekend. The biggest difference from an offensive standpoint, OBU's production in the lower part of the lineup. That one is away, 3 balls and 2 strikes. We talked about in the top half of the inning, Southwestern yesterday had just 1 base runner from the 6 through 9 hole hitters. In this one today, they have just 2 base runners, 6 through 9. A walk and a single. There's a little soft liner that's going to drop into right center field. The runner's going to score. Rushing comes around, and it is now 5-1. And that ball was just out of the reach of Sky Tilly.
And not by much, Todd. I mean, that was maybe a glove lengths away from the third out, but now the Bison with another run with 2 outs. What is that now? 10 of 11 runs with 2 outs now in this series. Very impressive. And we do have a pinch runner, number 14, Haley Stanford, the freshman, coming in at first base.
More than likely, we'll see Stanford take Campos' place behind the plate.
Yep.
Here is Gwen Miller. Miller entered the ball game in the 5th inning, hitting for Allie Ryan. Campos drops at her 17th RBI of the year, and she has a 2-hit ball game. Her first since March the 18th is that one misses high, 1 ball, no strikes. She had a great series against UAM. Went 4 for 7 the first 2 ball games and 5 for 9 against Cotton Blossoms pitching to that OBU sweep. 1-0 pitch. Misses away, 2 balls and no strikes. Bison now have scored in 4 of 5 innings against right-hander Taryn Westbrook.
And 10 hits, too. I mean, this has been a really good offensive day compared to yesterday.
In comes the 2-0 pitch. That's at the letters for a strike, 2-1. So, more 2-out runs today. In fact, all of them have come with 2 outs. That's 5 more. That's 82 now in the season. Here's the pitch. Laid off of it. There goes the runner. The throw easily in time to second to get Stanford and retire the side. 2 hits produce 1 run. No errors, 1 left. We have completed 5. It's now 5-1 Oklahoma Baptist to the Bison Network.
2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base.
As expected, Haley Stanford remains into the ball game as the catcher. Warden again is at first. Miller is at third. The middle infield of Reese and Emily Adler remain the same.
Now batting number 1.
Top of the 6th inning, Bison are 6 outs away from win number 32. 1 win away from matching the all-time Division II era record for victories. Danny Carmo, the catcher, 0 for 2 today. Swings and fouls the first pitch off from Morgan Max for a strike.
Man, Todd, I love that inside pitch. It's locking them up on the wrists, and they're not getting a good read on it, and that's just great pitching from Aspen and Morgan.
Morgan, a transfer from Texas Arlington. She brings home the 0-1 pitch and a ground ball to third. Miller has it, steps and throws, and there's 1 out.
It's just good infield defense. Slid to her left. Did go in there and made the easy throw to first.
Delaney has struck out and walked to the afternoon. Bison leading 5-1. They doubled up Southwestern 10-5 in hits. Here's Morgan Max's first pitch. Inside quarter for a strike. It's 0-1. We told you that Sam Maples twice last year and this year has directed the Bison to 30-plus wins. Only the second time that has happened in program history. 47 years of existence. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. You have to go all the way back in the record books, 1998 and 1999. Pam Fink was the head coach to find before last year and this season, the last time OBU had 2 consecutive seasons of 30 wins or more. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Just misses, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pam with more than 640 career victories. Sam Maples with 116. They rank 1-2 in coaching victories here on Bison Hill. The 1-2 pitch. Change up and just missed. 2-2 the count.
Morgan's got a nice look on that changeup too, just like Aspen. I thought that was pretty close to I thought that was a strikeout, to be honest with you.
Didn't miss by much. Now the 2-2 from Morgan Max. Swinging and foul tip. No, she missed it.
And Stanford did not know.
Tipped it too. She just walked to pick it up. And now the home plate umpire is going to say it was a foul tip. And now he's going to throw his arms up in the air and go out to talk to the guy at third.
Well, he did put his arms up as if it was a foul ball after the fact.
After Haley Stanford had said it was a foul tip, and here comes Sam Maples out of the dugout. Well, you know what? A dead clock's right twice a day.
That's right.
So a strikeout pass ball.
Yep.
And that was really bizarre. I can't imagine that Haley Stanford would have just stood there and walked belatedly to a ball that was missed.
No, she thought, I'm speaking of Haley here, I think she thought it was a foul ball the whole way. And that's why she didn't throw to first, is because she thought it was a foul ball. Okay, all right, well.
So a one-out base runner for Swasu here in the sixth. Jessica Boone has come down, and we're going to get a pinch runner out there at first base. I think he was signaling, thought he said 24, but there's not a 24 on the roster.
Let's go to their webpage here.
We'll get you the runner here in just a moment.
Well,
Skyla McPhillips will be the batter. She struck out twice against Aspen Younts, who went 4 today and is in line for the victory. And a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1.
There is not a 24 on the roster on the website and on our printed roster. So, is that 20? It's 21. It's right. It's Cooper Chaos. It's 21.
We saw her run yesterday. Yep.
Okay.
0-1 pitch. Bounced foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
We're 100 feet from first base, so it looked like a 4 to me, but it is Cooper Chaos, a freshman from Enid.
Yeah, she came in and ran yesterday.
Yeah. Well, misspoke again. It's number 20.
Saying it's Tara Hibbler. It's 20, not 21.
Sorry, man. We better get
Two
binoculars.
old men here in the booth with bad eyesight. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Nice.
Down goes McPhillips. That is strikeout number 3 now for Morgan Max. And 8 on the day for OBU pitching, and it's up to Soraya Jones. So Tara Hibbler, a 5'7" senior from Piedmont, is running at first base. Let's see if she stays into the ball game. She is a reserve infielder. Morgan Mack's first pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. OBU will have Gwen Miller leading off the 6th. She was at the plate when Stanford was thrown out trying to steal second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Sam Maples, all-conference pitcher at Florida Atlantic, played for the legendary head coach Joan Joyce. Native of Sarasota, Florida, in her 5th season, called strike, and it's 2-1. That looked low.
That was pretty low, I thought, too, and I think a little upset on the call right there was Jones.
Sam's 116 wins, the most in the first 5 years of any coach in Bison history. Swing and a miss. That is strike 2. Stanford, I think, thought that was strike 3.
Yeah, she did. That's it. I lifted my hand up because I thought she confused me too, Stanford.
Well, we've both been wrong. I thought one fly ball was gone. I was waving, and you thought that was strike 3. So an error on the board for Todd and Clayton. Here's the 2-2 pitch. 1 hop back to the circle. Easy play for Morgan. Across to Warden. Inning over. 2 strikeouts, a pass ball, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 5-1 OBU in the Bison Network. Bison fans, stay up to date on the latest in OBU sports by following us on Facebook at OBU Bison and on Twitter and Instagram at OBU_athletics for everything Bison softball. Follow OBU_softball on Twitter and Instagram. 5-1 OBU. Miller, then Sydney Adler, Reagan Ford. 8-9-1 here in the 6th against Taryn Westbrook, who, give her credit, she's forced OBU to strand multiple base runners in 2 of the first 5 innings, so it could be worse.
Here's the thing, Todd. Yeah, we had that 2-run homer from Morgan Max, but overall, we're just talking little single base hits. But we do have 4 more runs than they do, and that's what matters.
Gwen Miller to lead off. Gwen 0 for 1. Tries to bunt and bunts that one foul for a strike, 0-1 the count. Still good pitching day today for Oklahoma Baptist in the circle.
We still have a 2-0 Bison baseball lead over in Weatherford. Brett Galbraith, 1 hit allowed through 3 frames.
And that's against a good Southwestern offense.
It is the top batting offense in the GAC in terms of average.
Change up, swung and a miss for a strike, 0-2. Tell you what, Breck has really answered the call the last couple of years for the most part when OBU's needed him.
Yeah, he's as solid a pitcher as we have around here.
Good guy, too.
Yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes. That one is a wide. 1-2. Somewhat quiet. You're around him, you wouldn't think he's the Friday night starter that he is, but really good guy. Taryn Westbrook has worked into the 6th, and she bounces that one to the plate. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Looking at Westbrook's ledger this season, she has pitched 7 innings 4 times in the last calendar month. Change up her rise ball, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Battled back from an 0-2 count to a full count here.
Westbrook's pitch, line to second, gloved on a backhand by Tilley over to first. 1 out. The ball was scorched on the ground, and Tilley played it on a short hop, backhanded, and turned it into a pretty easy play.
Yeah, the way that came off the bat, I thought we were going to have a little, a single through the middle right there, but good defense.
Westbrook went 7 innings against Southern Nazarene. Her start prior to a midweek appearance against Newman. First pitch to Sydney Adler, fouled on a play, strike 1. Final game of the series coming up 30 minutes after the final out of this is recorded. Bison hoping to go for a 3-game sweep over the rivals from Weatherford. 0-1 pitch is up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Pulled on the ground to second again. Easy play for Tilley. Over to the first baseman for out number 2.
Give Westbrook credit. We mentioned the grounders that we had several of those yesterday. I know we've got 10 hits, but Westbrook has done a good job to limit the Bison damage. A bunch of ground ball outs today too.
Zoe Johnson now is going to grab a bat. She's going to hit for Reagan Ford. Reagan had a couple of hits today. I think, and without looking, I think yesterday might have been Zoe's birthday. She had one of those birthday hats on coming out of the hitting cage. I asked her if she was going to
Chuck E. Cheese
wear it to the field. I think she just looked at me like, you're crazy, man.
Todd, I remember when I first moved here, August of 21.
You went to Chuck E. Cheese?
I did not, but I drove by a Chuck E. Cheese and was, reliving some of my fun childhood memories. Anyway.
It's amazing what passed for good pizza when you're younger, huh?
Oh, yeah.
1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Some places, it's not about the food, it's about the experience.
Yeah, I mean, you got mouses jumping around as a 5-year-old. You're having a heck of a time, all right? So...
Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss to Zoe. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Zoe Johnson in for the 19th time. She's hitting .219, 7 hits, 2 home runs, 5 driven in. Here's the pitch. That's low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But a lot going on the old score sheet. A lot of pinch runners, a lot of pinch hitters. It's good, though. It means you got people that in a 4-run game, you're not afraid to shy away from giving them an opportunity. Header reaching, pops it up. Down the line from first, and the play is made by Jordan Wadley. So the inning is over. OBU goes in order. Last chance for Southwestern here in the 7th. 5-1 Oklahoma Baptist to the Bison Network. Todd Miller, Clayton Kaufman, the Bison Sports Network crew, back here with you with Shawnee, top of the 7th inning. And we will have a pinch hitter as Cooper Kayott will bat here in the 7th inning.
Now batting number 21, Cooper Kayott.
Sky Tilley had batted in the number 9 spot. She is 0 for 2 and lined into a double play to end the Southwestern 4th. Morgan Max is scoreless 2 innings. Misses in tight with a fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. Bison 3 outs away from their 6th or 17th conference win of the year. Here comes the 1-0. Downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, if you're
Zoe
Morgan
Johnson is remaining in the ball game. She's now in right field.
and if you're Morgan Max here, you need to really attack Cooper Kayott. No hits this season for Kayott. And they're down 4 runs. You got to go after him.
Here is the 2-0 pitch. And that one is in the dirt. 3 balls, no strikes. Morgan has walked 1 batter. She has struck out 3. One of those reached at a pass ball on what Haley Stanford thought was a foul tip. Was not called a foul tip by the home plate umpire. Here is the 3-0. And it's upstairs, so a leadoff walk. Not necessarily a good thing with the top of the order coming up.
No, just a befuddling sequence right there. A 4-pitch walk to start the top of the 7th. When you're up 4, going to have to fight back here.
Maddie Rahan, the leadoff hitter, who has a double and a single, but is 0 for 1 with a ground out to short against Morgan Max bats. Morgan gets the sign, brings in the pitch. Downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. They started to pinch the corners in with Miller and Warden, but now are both playing back. Middle infield, a double play depth, and out goes Stanford to talk to Max. So of the battery and the 4 infielders, 4 of the 6 are players that have entered the ball game. The only 2 starters out there on the infield, Adler at short, Reese at second base. Sydney Adler is in left, Sammy Green is in center with Zoe Johnson in right. So Sam Maples has used the bench here in this game, leading 5-1. Now the conference is over. Morgan Max, 5 straight balls out of the strike zone and pours one in for a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 4th, still 2-0 Oklahoma Baptist in baseball. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a ground ball, and it's past Adler at short into left. So a 3-hit ball game for Maddie Rahan. It's first and second. And Southwestern needs 1 more to reach to bring the tie and run of the plate. Kaylee Barkley has walked twice, including once against Max. She also has a sacrifice.
Todd Rahan now 3 games this year with 3 hits. She did it against Newman on the 4th of April and then at East Central on March 10th.
Out and in, 1 ball, no strikes. So the combination of Younts and Max have been cruising. Now they've hit a little bit of a speed bump here in the 7th. 2 on, nobody out. And the pitch at the letters for a strike, 1-1 the count.
If I recall, it was the first inning they put the first 2 on and then got that lone run, and then a couple, I think, fly outs and a ground out got us out of that jam.
They had 2 of their first 3 on in the 3rd inning. Did not score in that frame against Younts. Called strike at the knees, and now Morgan Max has Barkley down in a 1-2 count. Southwestern with 6 hits. They had just 1 yesterday. And the pitch. Off speed and just misses away. 2-2 the count.
Man,
it looked like he wanted to punch her out.
Yes, I mean, before Stanford brought the glove back over the plate, I thought it was pretty good, but umpire says no.
2-2. Morgan Max brings home the pitch. Didn't mean to. Chased inside, and down goes Barkley. Big strikeout right now, the largest of the 4 for Max, and now 2 on, 1 out in the 7th for first baseman Jordan Wadley. Jordan Wadley scribbed it into fielder's choices her last 2 times up, a first inning single early hit. And takes downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. That single in the first, in fact, is the only hit in 6 at-bats in this weekend series for Wadley, who started in right now as the first baseman. Here's the 1-0.
Nice.
Bounces it to the plate. 2 balls now and no strikes.
Nice job by Haley right there. That was close to being a wild pitch into the backstop and 2 runners into scoring position, but she slid over just in time to pick it up.
Lefty versus lefty. That one is in there for a strike, 2-1. Morgan Max this year, left-handers have hit her very well, 368. She's allowed just 1 hit in 2 1/3. There's a bouncing ball to short. Could do it. Adler to Reese. Reese had the ball come out of her hand poorly. It's going to get away from the first baseman, Warden, and coming home to score is Kayot, and it's now a 5-2 ball game. So no RBI. It'll be a fielder's choice and then a throw-in error against Addie Reese.
It was weird. She made contact with the base runner, and I think Coach Maples is going to, she's talking to the infield umpire. The base runner at second altered that throw by Reese. Now, it was a bang-bang play, so, they're going to talk it over, but, they were right on each other as that ball is being thrown. So
the ball came, it was almost like Addie had palmed the ball. That's how it came out of her hand. Left side of the infield and Addie Reese conferring. Ward, along with the battery in the circle, talking to 3 umpires on the third base side are visiting. There's a look at him right there. They're discussing exactly what Clayton Kaufman said, and they're going to call her out. Well, that should be a double play, shouldn't it?
Well, I'm confused on why he put his hand in the air. We knew there was an out already at second. The play in question is the base runner in contacting with Addie Reese.
Number 8, Katie Bowling.
We're stuck on 2 outs. Okay.
So it is as we originally scored at a fielder's choice throw-in error, run in 5-2. And Bowling, the right fielder, coming to the plate. And that one is downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. You're right. Obstruction or interference had to, I would think, be the topic of discussion out there on the relay throw for the attempted double play. but after the conference, he turned and signaled out.
Yeah, a little confused there.
It would have been the third out. And a pop-up center field, this will do it. Underneath it is Green, and Oklahoma Baptist has secured a series win against Southwestern, holding on to the seventh. One unearned run, a walk, a hit, and one left. Final score, Oklahoma Baptist 5, Southwestern Oklahoma State 2. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment.
Hey, can we go back to the wide shot?
Welcome back here to the booth at Bison Softball Park, along with Clayton Kaufman on Todd Miller. OBU wins it 5-2. They now have taken the first two games from Southwestern. They now remain in a first-place tie with Southeastern, a full game ahead of Harding, who still has 3 to play this weekend against Ouachita. 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, 5 left for Oklahoma Baptist, 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 8 left for Southwestern. OBU with a victory, now 32-9. They are 17-5 in Great American Conference play. Southwestern drops to 4-18 to the league and 9-32 overall. Clayton, I think you have the final pitching numbers as Aspen Younts will pick up the win.
Yes, sir. 4 innings pitched, 81 total pitches, 5 hits given up, 1 earned around, 5 strikeouts for Aspen. She also induced 6 flyouts and groundouts combined. And for Morgan Mack, she goes 3 innings, 1 run that was unearned. She struck out 4, did issue 2 walks, but also got 5 ground ball outs. A pretty good day in the circle by our team. Only 1 earned run given up.
Final score 5-2. Update from Bethany Southern Azarita, the final game of that series with a 3-2 lead over Southeastern. That game is in the top of the second in Bethany. That's good news so far for OBU. Final score 5-2. Clayton and I'll be back for the finale in about 30 minutes here with the Bison Sports Network.
Leading off, number 4, Reagan Ford. Batting second, number 12, Sammy Green.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome back here to Bison Softball Park on this Good Friday afternoon. Todd Miller, Clayton Kaufman, the Bison Sports Network crew with you. OBU a 5-2 winner in today's first game will go for the sweep of the three-game series with Southwestern, and they will line up this way behind their starting pitcher, Brianna Aller. Leading off at shortstop is Maddie Rahan. Batting second, the designated player, Kaylee Barkley. Batting third at first base, Jordan Wadley. Hitting cleanup in right field, Katie Boleen. Batting fifth and catching, Danny Carmo. Hitting sixth and left field is Tiara Hibbler. Batting seventh at third base, Sierra Jones. Hitting eighth at second base, Sky Tilley. And batting ninth and in center field, Macy Buss. Again, it's Rahan at short, Barkley at the DP, and Wadley at first. Boleen at right, Carmo catching, Hibbler in left. Jones at third, Tilley at second, Buss in center field. Now the starting lineups for Oklahoma Baptist, the 23rd ranked team in the country, now 32 wins of the year. And they are 17-5 in conference play. Leading off in right field, Reagan Ford. Batting second, center fielder Sammy Green. Hitting third at shortstop, Emily Adler. Batting cleanup is the DP, Morgan Max. Batting fifth at first base, Kennedy Clark. Hitting sixth at second base, Addie Reese. Batting seventh and catching, Sam Campos. Hitting eighth at third base, Allie Ryan. And batting ninth in left field, Sydney Adler. Again, it's Ford in right, Green in center, Emily Adler at short, Max the DP, Clark at first, Reese at second, Campos catching, Ryan at third, and Sydney Adler in left. Kaylee Jones will make her second start of the series. She will be gunning for win number 23. She'll face Maddie Rahan, who doubled up over in the first inning yesterday, and the first pitch is upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Kaylee Jones, among the nation's best in about every statistical category you can imagine. Lowered her earned run average yesterday to 0.77. Her win-loss record 22-5. 30th appearance of the year. This is start number 23 and a strike. Evens it up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Kaylee Jones, of her 22 starts, 19 of those have been complete games. That ranks her in the top third in all of America. 163 innings, 96 hits, and a liner into left field, and Sydney Adler reaches up and is able to make the catch. The wind was trying to push that over Sydney's head, but she got a good beat on it, and that's out number 1.
And she made a great read. Her first step was true, and she gets it on the run, a heck of a grab.
230 strikeouts for Kaylee Jones in 163 in the third innings now, and 33 walks. Here is the DP, Kaylee Barkley, and the first pitch is low, 1 ball, no strikes. Barkley in today's first ball game had a sacrifice, a couple of walks, and struck out in the 7th inning. That came against Morgan Max, who finished up the final 3. Aspen Younts went the first 4 to get the win. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Kaylee Barkley. Kaylee Barkley enters at 265. This is her 22nd start of the year for SWOSU. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball away, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Clark and Reese on the right side of the infield. Emily Adler at short. Allie Ryan at third, just as the Bison began the first ball game along the infield. Jones rocks and fires the 1-2 pitch, and she stays alive. Sydney Adler, who made the catch of the first batted ball with the ball game, is in left. Sammy Green in center. Reagan Ford in right, and Campos again is the catcher. Defensively, there's some lineup changes for Southwestern. We'll get that in the bottom of the first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Didn't mean to. Went around on a rise ball, and down goes Barkley. And first strikeout for Jones, and number 5 in 7 2/3 innings this weekend.
Todd, if that rise ball is going, there might not be anybody in the country that can beat her.
Jordan Wadley, the first baseman, has played right field each of the first 2 games of the series and comes up swinging and fouls at bat.
And I say that because when she can get to that 64-ish mile-an-hour fastball, batters have had a tough there's only one team that's done a good job, and that's Harding.
Wadley 1 for 4, but reached 4 times, a single and 3 fielders' choices, and that pitch high and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. So while Southwestern continues to struggle to score runs, they've been limited to just 1 earned run in 14 innings this weekend in 2 total. Their on-base percentage still is among the best of the conference. 2 balls, 1 strike. That was evident by Jordan Wadley, 1 for 4, but 4 trips aboard. Beautiful skies overhead, temperatures mid-60s. It is gorgeous today. 2-1 in there for a strike, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's one of these days, and one of the only days I'll say this because the wind isn't that much of a factor. I just soon work outside.
I know. It would be nice to get you a nice lawn chair with the handheld mic and some earpieces as we get a shot pop up in the infield for an easy 1-2-3 out. But yes, we need to get you outdoors.
Let's do it. Emily Adler with the unassisted put out. 1-2-3 it out goes Southwestern. No score here in game 2 of the day on the Bison Sports Network. One more time, look at the OBU lineup. Reagan Ford, Sammy Green, Emily Adler, Morgan Max, Kennedy Clark, Addie Reese, Sam Campos, Allie Ryan, Sydney Adler against Brianna Cryer. Cryer yesterday, 6 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned. One of the big problems, not necessarily the hits, but 5 walks and a strikeout. And she had Southwestern in a 1-0 game until the 6th when OBU scored 5 times. Here's Reagan Ford, was pinch hit late for in the first ball game. Reagan did have a couple of hits. Left-handed batter against right-hander Brianna Cryer. And the first pitch is downstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brianna Cryer, 5-15, earned run average of 5.27. Southwestern's ERA has been lowered now to less than 5, 4.96. That's a respectable ERA. 2 balls, no strikes, and not the ERA of a team that's 9-32 and 4-18 in the league.
It just goes to show you how hard they're playing for their first-year coach, and they've played a lot of close games against Rogers State, against Harding, Arc-Tech.
They played close games for the most part here this weekend.
Yeah, that too.
Balls, no strikes.
Probably add that to the commentary there, but
So Reagan Ford with good speed, a pitch away from becoming the first Bison base runner of the second game. Shows butt, and it is high. So Cryer comes out and gives up a walk. That has been a problem for Cryer. She's worked 106 1/3 innings, and that now is her 52nd walk of the year. She struck out 55.
Number 12, Sammy Green.
we didn't get on base for a bit yesterday when she was in the circle. I bet I have to pull that play-by-play up again, but
here's Sammy Green, who actually had a first inning walk. There goes Reagan Ford. Decent throw by Carmo, but not in time, and Ford with another stolen base. She stole a couple bases in the first ball game, so that's her 3rd of the day. In the first 2 innings yesterday, OBU only had 1 base runner. That was 7 hitters deep through the lineup. That was Green's first inning walk, a swing and a miss. And it evens it up, 1 ball, 1 strike.
not a bad pitch for Green to go after. That was right down Main Street, just mistimed it.
Their problem has been, as we've alluded to, scoring runs. They've had opportunities in the series, but have only just 2 runs. There's a bunt up the first base line. It's a good one. That's a fair ball. They throw to first and safe. Sammy Green with her second infield hit of the day. And Ford goes over to third. That was about as perfectly of a placed bunt as you could ever hope to see.
I mean, that's about 6 inches inside the first base line, as like you said, as perfect a bunt as you could see. And now we got runners on the corners and nobody out.
Here's Emily Adler. Emily had a first inning single to run scored off of the game 1 starter today. That was Taryn Westbrook, who now is 2-15 after suffering the loss. Here's Cryer's pitch, popped up. That is tailing deep down the left field line in foul territory and out of Hibbler's reach, so it's a strike.
Yeah, for a moment there, I thought that was going to be hanging inside and just clear the foul pole for a homer. But
wind is still pushing the ball out to that part of the ballpark. It's up over 10 miles per hour out of the east. But it has not really been much of a factor to balls hit to that part of the park today. Adler, a left-hander against right-hander Brianna Cryer. And the pitch. Another fly ball left field. Wind is pushing that one. Hibbler going back, and it is down for a base hit. One run will score. Now tracking for third is going to be Green. It's an RBI double, and OBU off to a good start, leading 1-0.
Great piece of hitting. Hey, same location. She framed that really great. Going left side again and got that one fair.
Emily with her 6th double, her 30th RBI of the year, and it's 1-0 Oklahoma Baptist. And now Morgan Max, the designated player, about to step in. So this has the makings of a inning that could get away from Southwestern very, very quickly. There's still nobody out.
And Todd, we haven't had that one jagged inning, with 3+ runs. It's been 2 or 1. Well, we did have 5. I should take that back in the 6th inning yesterday.
But you're right. Out of 12 innings, they've had only 1 inning larger than 2 runs this weekend. There's a strike, 0-1 the count. Morgan Max hitting .286, her 39th start. Came in and pitched the final 3 innings of Game 1 today. Here's the pitch to the UT Arlington transfer. A swing and a miss, no balls, 2 strikes. Morgan Max of the year has struck out 14 times, drawn 16 walks, so she has pretty good discipline at the plate. 0-2 pitch, and that would have slapped out of play. The Bison coming in as a team have struck out 180 times and drawn 121 walks. They are second only to SWASU in that category in the conference. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one is downstairs, so it evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kennedy Clark on deck, already 1-0 Oklahoma Baptist to the RBI double. 3 hitters in to Emily Adler. Now the pitch. Fly ball popped up, and that's out of play on the third base side. The breeze is cool, but it is pleasant on the outside. Temperatures in the mid-60s. OBU won last night 6-0, won today 5-2. Baseball leading 4-0 at the mid-stages of their series opener at Southwestern. So far, it's been a good week for the Bison against the Bulldogs. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball, left center field. That's well hit, and it is gone. A 3-run home run. Touch 'em all, Morgan Max.
Morgan Max, home run.
4-0 Bison. And still nobody out against Brianna Cryer.
Todd, good for Morgan Max. She came in to the series with 2 homers, has 2 home runs now in this series, and just a perfect series for Morgan.
She's up to 25 RBIs. That is 3 back of Addie Reese, who's second, and 5 back from the team leader, Emily Adler, who has an RBI double in this inning. 4 up, 4 in for OBU. Here is Kennedy Clark, the first baseman. In comes the pitch from Cryer. That one is high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Southwestern 3-12 on the road this year. OBU now 11-1 here at Bison Park this spring. The 1-0 pitch. Lined into left field. That's down for a base hit. It's fumbled out there by Hibbler. She'll pick it up and hold it to a single. But, boy, the Bison are getting terrific swings. Their second day of looking at Brianna Cryer.
Maybe it just took some time. I know the coaches got onto our players a little bit after yesterday, but, you have to give Cryer some credit in Game 1 yesterday, but now our ladies are just getting after it.
14 hits in the doubleheader today. OBU 5 runs, 10 hits in the opener. First pitch is ball 1 to Addie Reese. So Reese is the 6th Bison to bat. 4 have scored, runner at first, and still nobody out. Brianna Cryer winds, brings it home, and that pitch is low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Southeastern has come from behind. They lead 4-3. That game in the top of the 5th. At Southern Nazarene looking for the sweep. Swing and a miss. Challenged her away. It's 2-1. Those two currently tied for the top spot. OBU at Southeastern with 17-5 league records. Harding will play 3, including a doubleheader tonight, later in Arkadelphia against Washita. 3 balls and a strike. They will be a prohibited favorite to win all 3. And if all goes to form, they would go into the third from final week of the regular season in a 3-way tie. Called strike, and it's 3-2. And getting that number 1 seed, Clayton, is huge because for whoever gets that, you avoid the other 2 teams until the finals. The 2-3 teams likely would be playing each other in a semifinal matchup. Here's the payoff pitch. Popped out of play.
You say that, Todd, it's a great point, but I think with the pitcher we have in our circle, of course we would want the 1. That's the best path forward. But the 2 ain't bad either with who we have in the circle in Kaylee Jones.
3-2 pitch, jammed her, and she laces it foul, out of play.
Yeah, I was talking with Coach Maples about this yesterday. I was like, hey, look, we know it's going to be Kaylee Jones. More than likely, if we get to play 3 GAC tournament games, it's going to be her with a single elimination style. So
3-2 pitch, slapped down the right field line, and that is curling foul. Well, more than likely, and I say that, I don't know, it could be OBU Harding, Southeastern to the number 4 spot. The way the standings are right now, the number 1 seed would get Southern Arkansas. Oh, by the way, they're pretty good in the postseason.
Yeah, and I said earlier that Harding hit Kaylee Jones. It was Southern Arkansas folks a couple weekends ago that gave Jones fits.
Jones also handcuffed him in the first game of the series, and there's ball 4.
Man, what a great at-bat that was. A few foul balls by Addy, and now we get 2-1 here in the bottom of the first.
Addy has great plate discipline. Here's Campos, the catcher. Sam finally got going, a couple of hits. She had been 1 for 15 since having a 4-game hit streak snapped before a second-inning single and a called strike. And if you remember, in that second inning, Clayton, I had said that sometimes it takes just 1 swing to turn around a season at the plate. Perhaps that has been the case for Campos. 2 hits against Southwestern in the first ball game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bison ranked 23rd nationally in the NFCA poll. First time they have ever been ranked 2 weeks ago. This is the highest they've ever been ranked in Division II softball. Ball off with the glove of the catcher, Carbo, and that'll advance the runners on a pass ball. Yeah, it's now 2 balls and a strike.
Todd, a pass ball right there. I mean, you got to be able to hold on to that, especially when this first inning has not gone your way defensively.
2-1 to Campos, the number 7 hitter in Sam Maples' lineup. Looks at a strike, and it's even up 2 balls, 2 strikes. OBU with runners in scoring position coming to this ball game hitting .309. Sam Campos, one of the better at .333, and there's a line drive. It's down as it a roll to the bases in right center field. It is 6-0, and Campos stands into second with a double. And that 1 swing, sure enough, at least for today, has turned Campos' season around offensively.
Great piece of hitting. Now, 2 doubles in this inning. That one to the right center fence, and Coach Boone out in the home plate area to get probably a pitching change coming up.
6th double for Campos. RBIs 18 and 19, and we will indeed get a pitching change as Kaylee Barkley, who's been the DP in the first 2 games of this weekend series, comes in. We'll give you Barkley's numbers in a moment. We'll step away. Still nobody out. Allie Ryan, the number 8 hitter, on deck. OBU with the 6th spot, bidding for more here in the first on the Bison Network. Here's a look at the conference as Southwestern welcomes in their second pitcher of the ball game, their third of the weekend series. Her number is 16. Her name is Kaylee Barkley. This is her 20th appearance, 19th in relief. Has the best win-loss record of the staff, 2-1, and a good earned run average of 2.30. So her numbers all across the board much better than the other two we've seen this weekend. Barkley's first pitch is high and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Barkley is allowing a 289 batting average. She has given up 3 home runs, 11 extra base hits, but she has walked 27 and struck out just 11. Here's Barkley's pitch. Downstairs, and it's 2-0. Barkley, a sophomore from Anaheim, California, from Esperanza High School. And she has been the designated player in the lineup this weekend for Jessica Boone. There's the 2-0. In there for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Todd, doing some research on Barkley, the vast majority of her appearances, no more than a 2 2/3 innings pitch. So looks like she might be in for the long haul today.
Only 1 start on the year. Ground ball to short. And Rayhan throws over to first to get the out. They'll hold Campos at second.
Now batting number 5, Sydney Adler.
9th Bison to face 2 Bulldog pitchers. Sydney Adler here with the first comes to the plate. Sydney Adler still looking for her first hit against Southwestern pitching this weekend. Grounded out 3 times today's first game and takes a strike away. 0-1 the count. Her last performance, 2 innings this week against Newman. 2 runs, none of which were earned. 1 hit with a walk and a strikeout. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes to Sydney Adler, whose batting average currently is at 305.
Yeah, 0-2 the count. Yep. There we go. Sorry, folks. Just talking to our scoreboard operator.
Pitch fouled on a play. Count holds. No balls, 2 strikes. Wadley is at first. Tilley remains at second. Rayhan at short. Jones at third. But the outfield completely changed up from the first 2 games of the weekend. Change up, a swing and a miss, and down goes Adler. Now 2 away for the top of the order. So the Bison now will send their 10th hitter to the plate. Hibbler is in left. Buss is in center. Both making their first starts of the weekend. Boline, who had been in left, moved to right at the end of the first ball game, or second game of the series. Starts in right in this one. 1 ball, no strikes. 6 runs, 5 hits for Oklahoma Baptist in the first. Off speed, downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Much awaited Bison football schedule released today, and it will start in late August, a home game against Arkansas Tech. Look for ticket information, obubison.com in the coming weeks. Called strike 2-1.
Yeah, Todd, the renewals, season ticket stuff, that will be coming out in this month. So
here's the 2-1 pitch. Lined over the third baseman's glove, but just foul. Boy, she didn't miss extra bases by much at all.
It was just outside the left field line by about a foot or so. And Reagan has really competed well in these last several at-bats in this series.
Reagan walked, stole her third base of the day, and scored the first of 6 OBU runs earlier in the inning. Here is the pitch. Stays upstairs, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kaylee Barkley, Barkley, seeing her first stint in the circle this weekend for SWOSU. Now the 3-2. Ground ball to short, backhanded by Rayhan. Throw to first and just did get the speedy Reagan forward. OBU sends 10 to the plate. They get 6 on 5 hits. No errors and 1 left. We've completed 1. 6-0 Oklahoma Baptist to the Bison Network. Todd Miller, Clayton Kaufman, the Bison Sports Network crew. A 6 spot for Kaylee Jones at OBU with the first. And now Southwestern will send Boline, Carmo, and Hibbler to the plate. That is 4, 5, and 6 here in their half of the second. Boy, it is a steep mountain to climb with Jones out there and your team trailing by 6. Kaylee winds and brings home the first pitch. Called strike away 0-1. Mr. Kaufman, you were the baseball contact.
Yes,
Give
sir.
us the good news.
4-0 OBU in Weatherford. Top of the 8th, 1 out. Brett Galbraith, the key to this game right now. 1 hit allowed and 2 walks.
0-1 pitch popped up first base side, and Kennedy Clark just in fair territory behind the bag makes the catch. Out number 1. And Breck has really economized his pitches over in Weatherford. He'd thrown less than 80, you told me, through 7 innings. Bison lead 4-0 top of the 8th.
Yeah, pretty certain I saw 76 after 7. That's outstanding.
Danny Carbo, the catcher, to lead off, or to bat with the bases empty and 1 out. Jones' first pitch fouled back, and it's a strike. Those are numbers that will get you recognized not only in the conference, but in the region as well. I mean, if they hold up, because Southwestern has been absolutely crushing the ball on offense.
They ranked, doing research, they were top 2 in 6 different major offensive categories.
Tried to checker swing, went around, and Carmo behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Kaylee Jones was not perfect yesterday, but she was in control. She has been very good here at her first 4 batters that she's faced, leading 6-0. We're in the second. Here's the 0-2. Called, 3rd strike. I don't know what Carmo was looking for. The rise ball, the changeup, but it wasn't what she got, as that one went right down the middle.
Yep, got the edge of the corner there on the plate, and man, when her speed is so good, that's what makes her great.
Tara Hibbler to bat. First time she's had it at bat here in the series. Left-handed batter is swinging a miss for a strike. 0-1. Hibbler with her first at bat of the weekend is hitting 111. This is a rare start for her, just her 7th. Here's Jones' pitch. Popped up, should be playable. And underneath it is Ryan, who makes the catch about 2 paces in front of the third base dugout. So a stress-free 2 innings of work for Kaylee Jones. Bison lead it 6-0. We head to the bottom of the second of the Bison Network. Back in Shawnee, OBU has tallied a run in the top of the 8th. Update from baseball, 5-0 Bison. A win today would move them into a tie with SWOSU for 7th in the conference standings. Here at 6-0, 23rd ranked OBU looking for a weekend sweep of Southwestern. Bison next week will not have a midweek game. They instead will be, they play at Southwestern, isn't that right, Tuesday night? They play at Southwestern, is that right?
At SNU on Tuesday
That's what
night,
I mean,
right?
at Southern Nazarene,
Yes,
and then back home for Ouachita. I said
That's correct.
Southwestern. I meant Southern Nazarene. Sammy Green, an infield hit. Lofts that one out of play in the right field line. I might have to go check that game out. That's as close to a home game as you get.
No, Todd, I like making that drive for basketball. When soccer's played GAC championships there in my time here, easy drive.
0-1 pitch. Hard hit ball, glove by the shortstop. Rayhan over to first, and that is out number 1.
And Sydney Adler Emily Adler had a ground out just like that yesterday, where that ball was very
Found
close
the
to her
glove.
glove, and she picked it up. A great job right there by SWOSU's Rahone.
And speaking of Emily, here she is at the plate after a first inning RBI double. First pitch lined into left field, but playable for Hibbler, who comes in 2 steps, and there's quickly 2 outs.
Now riding number 24, Morgan Max.
So Kaylee Barkley has come in, and she has retired all the batters that she's faced. After Brianna Cryer was roughed up at her second start of the series. First pitch upstairs to Morgan Max. It's 0-1. Morgan had the big blow back of that 6-run first for OBU. Hit a 3-run home run. She's homered in 2 of the 3 games of this series. Now the pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bison about hit Southwestern 5-0. We're at the bottom of the second, final game of the weekend. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. So the Bison will be at Southern Nazarene on Tuesday, back home next Friday and Saturday for 3 games against Washita, who came into the weekend tied with Southwestern of the standings. High pop up left field. Hibbler is there and is underneath it, and that's out number 3. So a quick second inning for Barkley against the Bison hitters. We've completed 2, 6-0 OBU on the Bison Network.
Back here on the Bison Sports Network, Clayton Kaufman and Todd Miller with you. Third inning action coming up at 6-0 OBU. Back to you, Todd.
Soraya Jones 1 for 5 in this series. That one hit a 4th inning single in today's opener off Aspen Younts. Leads off that it's Tilly, then Macy Buss for the first time. See the score, 6-0, 23rd ranked team in the country. Kaylee Jones has been perfect through 2 innings. With 2 strikeouts. She has struck out 6 Bulldogs on the weekend. Swing and a miss for a strike, and it is 0-1. Kaylee Jones has always had the stuff, but as we talk about so much, her partnership with Sam Maples, who's an all-conference pitcher at Florida Atlantic, has been a perfect marriage between player and coach. There's a strike 0-2.
Yeah, Todd, just the refining of someone that, Sam has said her power is in her upper body, and she obviously has it, but she's been refined to do the little things right to make her good.
Here's the 0-2. Just misses, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And it's not ever, in my opinion, been a matter of her stuff. It's been learning how to pitch and up here, which is things that everybody has to learn. That's the middle part of the game. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trust your stuff. Stays high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And once she put everything together, the last 2 years, there's not been anybody more dominant in the Great American Conference.
No, I mean, last year I think a lot of people thought she was the pitcher of the year. I mean, you look at her strikeout total, it was insane. And obviously this year she's got to be the front runner.
Swing and a miss. 3rd strikeout for the all-time strikeout leader at Oklahoma Baptist. She surpassed Destiny Anderson, who's one of the greats in the circle, the current East Central softball coach, early last year. She is just breaking ceilings and reestablishing marks here at OBU. Here's Sky Tilley, the second baseman. First pitch fouled back, and it's a strike. Native of Claremore, it must be great for her parents to make an hour-and-a-half, 2-hour drive over here all the time to Bison Hill and watch their daughter develop into the player that she has become. Now the 0-1 from Jones. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Kaylee has faced 7. She's retired 7 Lady Bulldogs. 6-0. We're in the 3rd. Jones rocks and fires, and that one hit her. So it goes the perfect game.
Oh, well, we say that. I mean, it's we're waiting to see that perfect game. We've had 3 no-hitters from Kaylee Jones. I think 2 this year, 2 last year, 1 this year. I hope to still see it while I'm here.
Well, it's bound to probably happen, a base runner at some point, but
Yeah.
that was a self-inflicted mistake as she just tried to come in too close to her, and it hit her on the front shoulder. A swing and a miss for Macy Buss, and it's strike one. First time we've seen Macy Buss in the series, B-U-S-S. Sophomore from Hydro, Oklahoma, played junior college softball at Warner and Connor State. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Nothing to 2 the count.
The same spot, same pitch. Beat her.
I bet she comes back for a third straight time. You imagine?
No, not 2 in a row. Not after 2 in a row. We'll see.
Here's the 0-2. No, it's right down the middle.
That was it. Todd called it.
The other two were a little bit further outside. That one was right down the middle, but yeah, it was the same pitch. And Macy Buss is strikeout victim number 2 of the inning in 4 2 2/3. Here's Rayhan, who takes a pitch just outside the corner. 1 ball, no strikes. Southwestern has not had a winning season in softball since 2012. Change up for a strike, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, that was pretty.
They are hoping they find the same success with Jessica Boone that Robert Davenport has found with Sam Maples when he summonsed her from Colorado Christian 5 years ago. Fly ball, right field. Ford is there. She puts it away. Nothing comes of the 2-out base runner and 1 stranded for Southwestern. We go to the bottom of the third, 6-0 on the Bison Network.
No runs, no hits, no errors.
We move to the bottom of the third, back at Bison Softball Park. A reminder that the Bison Athletic Association donors are making a direct and tangible impact on the success of OBU student-athletes in the classroom, their communities, and their fields and courts of competition. When you give to the BAA, you're truly invested in champions. Learn more. Sign up today at obubison.com/BAA. Here's Kennedy Clark to lead off the bottom of the third. And the first pitch from Barkley is in there for a strike. I'll tell you what, she's been really impressive. Coming in, OBU, of course, seeing her for the first time. They'll have to make some adjustments, but they do so with the benefit of a 6-run lead. There's a little fly ball into center field, hit on a line to the right is Buss, who makes the catch. And that is out number 1. We were talking during the break about perfect games and no-hitters. Kaylee has, 3 no-hitters?
It was correct. She had 2 last year, I believe, and has 1 this year.
Has yet to throw a perfect game. Addie Reese takes low, 1 ball, no strikes.
I've watched 1 in my 13-and-a-half-year communications career. That was at Delta State in a playoff game, a GAC or GSC tournament playoff game back in 2012 as we get a liner
soft
right
liner
there.
to third, caught by Jones for out number 2. I've seen a perfect game, but it was not a pure perfect game. It was done by a starter and relievers in softball.
Gotcha.
So
It's unique to see because a sport like this with the walks and the foul tipped balls that reach the infield, it would be nice to see.
Here's Campos, had a 2-run double and takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. As dominant as Kaylee Jones has been, not to have had a perfect game and only 3 no-hitters, that tells you exactly how difficult it is to do at this level. Called strike, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's just so rare, too. But when you know you have the pitcher that we have, you're just kind of like, it's bound to happen at some point. So 1-1
the count. Here's the pitch. Off speed, swing and a miss, 1-2. So you can see why Barkley has the best numbers on the Southwestern staff. She's won 2 of their 9 games. She has an ERA of less than 4. Her problem has been walks, and she's not done that to this point. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In fact, she has faced 8 Bison and retired all 8. So she's been really good, but the damage was done against Brianna Cryer. Now the pitch. Pop up into center field, not hit very well. Tilly from second goes out, bangs into bust. The center fielder then drops the ball. And that'll be an error on Southwestern.
Well, the center fielder caused the second baseman there, Tilly, to drop off that ball. That's shallow outfield. That's Tilly's ball. And the center fielder, Bus, she caused that.
It scored a hit, but that's not a hit, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you. It is scored a hit, but
I'm not the scorer, so here's Allie Ryan. First pitch upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. You're right. There obviously was very little communication out there.
Right. I mean, technically, I would give that E8 mental error. So, anyway.
6th hit of the ball game for OBU. Had a ground ball to second. This should get him out of the inning. Tilly fumbles, but stays with it to get Ryan at first. Nothing comes of the 2-out single. We've completed 3. Still 6-0 OBU on the Bison Network. Chick-fil-A Shawnee is a proud supporter of OBU Bison softball. Download the Chick-fil-A One mobile app today and start scanning your way to earning free food. What's better than Bison softball and free food and Chick-fil-A? I can't think of anything. 6-0. We go to the top of the 4th. Barkley, who's been good in relief of Cryer, will lead off the 4th for the Lady Bulldogs. Kaylee Jones, no hits, allowed 1 base runner. There was a one-out hit batsman back in the 3rd. Now the pitch popped out of play for strike number 1. Bison came out on fire. They sent 10 to the plate. The first 6 scored. And then since then, they have not been as sharp against Kaylee Barkley. Give Barkley some credit, though. She is not allowed a base runner in her 2+ innings of relief for it. So Kaylee against Kaylee. Now the pitch is away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nolan Fiesel has come in to take over for Brett Galbraith. They're in the 9th inning in Weatherford. 5-0 Oklahoma Baptist. It comes the pitch. Oh, good off speed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was at the letters, and Barkley could not pull the trigger. Kaylee Jones is Kayleigh. Kaylee Barkley is Kaylee. That one is in time with a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 6 runs, 6 hits for OBU. We're in the 4th inning, final game of the weekend series. And she stays alive. Barkley chased one upstairs and fouls it back. Whatever you do, remember the reason of the season and be safe doing and celebrating the season of our Lord and Savior this weekend. Happy Easter to all of you from all of us at OBU. Here's the 2-2 pitch. High and away, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sounds like you have somewhat of a busy weekend. Brunch tomorrow, and then some church friends coming over on Sunday.
Yes, I'll give you an update as we get a pop up into the center field there. Base hit for SWASU.
And there goes the no-no and a blooper by Barkley into center field. So a leadoff base runner for SWASU, and here is Jordan Wadley. All I know is whoever's coming over to your house on Sunday is lucky. They're going to get some of Allison's cooking.
Yeah, Allison knows how to dial up some good stuff.
I've been able to tell that just in the few months you've been married, your waistline.
You and Mary Mark, we got to get you and 3M over to the house too. We've been to your awesome place up in Edmond. We got to get you down in Shawnee for a night. So
let's do it. Always love spending time with you guys.
Yes, sir.
Sam Maples out to the circle. And now they're going to conference with the infield. I think this is as much a defensive adjustment as anything. Wadley is popped out to the shortstop, Emily Adler. Maples walking off towards the third base dugout. I think it's fair to say you and I both, for older guys that married for the first time late in life, outkicked our coverage.
Oh, yeah, Allison is, hey, I'm very happy. So,
What on? Nobody out. We're in the fourth inning.
She's a sweetheart. So.
Haley Jones will face the left-handed hitting first baseman who swats that one off the netting for a strike. Two more bachelors here on Bison Hill about to go by the wayside of the next few months. KJ and Zach.
Their lives are over. No, just kidding.
They just don't know it yet. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Called strike. No balls, 2 strikes. Bison have retired the first Bulldog in the 9th inning, so it's still 5-0. Give you a final as soon as it ends. Here's the 0-2. Fly ball left field. Didn't get much of it. Adler coming in, and Sidney is underneath it for out number 1. Zach Frazier, Madison getting married in the Dallas area later, either late spring or early summer, and then the next day, KJ and Brooklyn are getting married over in Arkansas.
It's folks, Zach Frazier helping in the external affairs office. He's on the 26th with former student worker Madison Bates. And then, KJ Reed, our counterpart in communications, him and Brooklyn Rainey going down the aisle on the 27th of May.
Good swing and a foul ball back to netting for a strike. If anybody has a plane they'd like to not loan me because I don't want to fly myself, but get me from Texas to Arkansas in back-to-back days, I would be very appreciative.
That person exists. It's my father. No.
Well, let's get him on the phone here.
Not happening.
0-1 pitch. Mike, you could go too. I didn't invite you.
I'll be at KJ's.
I'm going to be at both of them.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get out of driving from Dallas to Salem Springs, Arkansas.
Well, Mary Margaret, you got to bribe her with some candy or something. I don't know.
Oh, we're going to get there. It's just I'm trying to take the easy way like usual. Kind of like KJ. 0-2. And the pitch. He's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Love to ask him how the wedding planning's going. I don't know. She's doing it.
That's right. Kind of like me. I'm back in the fall with Allison. I didn't have much to do.
You didn't have time to do it. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's downstairs, 2-2 the count. Happy for both of those guys and their fiancés. They have
thank you.
Great women that they're going to add to their lives in the coming months. Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Haley Jones on a rise ball gets Bowling to chase. Jones with 3 strikeouts in the last 2 innings and 5 of this start. Already more than she had yesterday.
We do have a final from Weatherford. 5-0 Bison. A shutout against the top offense in the GAC. Heck of a job by Breck Galbraith, and Nolan Fiesel comes in 3 up, 3 down to end the game.
That is a terrific win for OBU. Danny Carbo takes upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. You know, CC has been saying all along, and I talked to him at Dosium about this, that if you can ever get both facets of this team on the same page, they have a chance to be really, really dangerous. Perhaps starting last week through the midweek win over Northeastern State, and today maybe that's finally starting to happen.
That was an impressive win against Northeastern State, who they were 14-17, but there's been some really good production out of Tahlequah for that program the last couple of years, and I thought it was really the Bison's win of the year.
Jones won one pitch, popped up, and it's at a play first base side. Well, that's a team that may be 14-17. But it has a large majority of its roster back from a team that won 30-plus games a year ago.
38.
Second in the MIAA. They went to the regional tournament.
And then had a bad call to not advance out of that regional tournament.
1 on, 2 out. Jones facing Carmo. And the pitch. Back at us and out of play. Danny Carmo through the first 2 games of the series. Hitting .220. This is her 40th start, 41st game played. She's 0 for 1 with a called third strike against Jones back in the second. Here's the pitch, and she just nicked it foul. I don't know how she hit that. It was a ball that was high and away, and she just hit it off the end of the bat. So they'll put a new ball in play. Kaylee Jones will again deal a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch to Danny Carmo. Now the pitch. Ground ball slowly rolled to second. Charging is Reese to first in time. And they waste the leadoff single. 1 hit, 1 left. We're halfway through the finale in Shawnee. 6-0 Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Network.
And 1 left on base.
We move to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Bison Park in Shawnee. 23rd ranked Oklahoma Baptist leading 6-0. Reminder, you can visit shopwbison.com, the official online store of Bison Athletics. Browse their tremendous selection of officially licensed OBU shirts, jackets, hats, and much more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Adler to lead off, and Sydney jumps to the first pitch and fouls it out of play for strike 1 from Kaylee Barkley. Barkley has now gone through the OBU rotation 1 time and has not allowed a base runner. Next pitch, a strike in the outside corner. It's 0-2. OBU is out hit SWOSU 6-1. They lead at 6-0. We're in the 4th. This game's zipping along here in Shawnee. Next pitch upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. When she came in, we told you Barkley had an earned run average of under 3, 2.30 to be exact. 1-2 pitch, pop up left field. Hibbler is underneath it and is there in shallow left for out number 1.
Now batting number 4, Reagan. 4.
So with the exception of Campos, 2-out single in the 3rd, OBU has done nothing 1 time through the lineup against Barkley. Here is Reagan Ford. Change up for a strike away, 0-1 the count.
We do have a score update from Bethany. Southern Nazarene up 6-5, top of the 7th with 1 out on Southeastern. So 2 outs away for SNU winning that game.
Trying to salvage 1 of 3 of the weekend with the Crimson Storm, or with the Savage Storm of the Crimson Storm. 1-1 the count. Nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the 4th inning. Now the pitch. Slap foul, left field side, 1 ball, 2 strikes. We've talked about it. It is just as beautiful of a day as we've had here in this early spring. We've had some warm days, temperatures near 90, but goodness, the wind has been blowing everything around. Had gusts of over 60 a couple of weeks ago. Ground ball into left field for a base hit, just out of the reach of Ray Hahn, the shortstop. Third hit of the doubleheader for Reagan Ford, her second trip aboard. And Sammy Green will come to the plate.
Yeah, I believe that's now 3 hits in the last 4 at-bats for Ford. And it's all been that slap action, which is her style, and she's effectively doing it now.
She is a great leadoff hitter in this sport. Finds a way to get on base. First pitch is a strike to Sammy, 0-1 the count. Reagan Ford's on-base percentage, 400 coming in. OBU's on-base percentage at 378. That was after 41 ball games. That one is wide to the target. 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of planes flying in and out today. A great day to fly for the Shawnee Airport, which is just to the south and west here of the softball complex. Now the 1-1 pitch. Fly ball into right. It hit field. She hit it pretty well. Going back, Boleen. It's off the top of the fence and gone. A home run for Sammy Green. It hit the top of the fence and bound away. And it is now 8-0 Oklahoma Baptist. And that 2-run home run puts a possible run rule in play heading to the 5th inning.
4th bomb of the year for Green, and Todd, you said it, that's right. The run rule in effect now. It'll be 3 outs needed in the top of the 5th to end it.
So 5 of the 8 runs have been scored on home runs. Morgan Max back in the 1st, drove home 3. Sammy Green here in the 4th with 2 more. Adler, the batter, has an RBI double. She's 1 for 2 on the afternoon and takes wide. 1 ball, no strikes. What you're starting to see now is OBU making the lineup adjustment 2nd time through against Kaylee Barkley. Now the pitch. Hit pretty well into left field. Going back is Hibbler, racing towards the foul line of the corner. She'll pull it in for out number 2.
That's still a good at-bat, though. You put it in play deep in left field, and like you said, Todd, the team's offense coming around against Cryer this time.
Morgan Max, a 3-run home run we talked about a moment ago, also was flied out to left. The Bison today have flied out 4 times to left field. First pitch misses, 1 ball, no strikes to the DP Morgan Max. Max finished up the 3-inning save in the first ball game. 5-2 was the final. That one is away. 2 balls, no strikes. Barkley brings it home, and the pitch called a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Good news, we've gone mobile here on the Hill. From schedules to news alerts about your favorite Bison program, the OBU mobile app has you covered. You can find the app on Google Play and the iPhone App Store. Next pitch, a strike, and all of a sudden the count's even at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
First call I would disagree with today.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the first you've disagreed with today. Today being the operative word, maybe this game.
Yeah.
2-2. Grounded off the glove of Barkley. She knocks it down, but there won't be a play, and that's an infield hit.
So what's that? Now 2 homers and a single now for Morgan Max in this doubleheader this afternoon.
That ball came back twice as hard as it was thrown. And Barkley did a good job to knock it down and hit the webbing of her glove and then shot towards first base, but she didn't have a chance to even make a play, so that is hit number 9 for the Bison. They're 19th in this doubleheader. And Kennedy Clark will have another opportunity. Correction, she's going to be pinch hit for by Shelby Warden. There you see Shelps, number 16, grabbing a bat.
Yep. Warden hitting .243 this season with a couple of doubles. 9
and
hits.
We're going to get a runner out of the dugout at first base. That's going to be Mia Monologue, a senior from Fort Collins, Colorado. She was pretty much a full-time starter this time a year ago. Now has seen most of her time coming off the bench. It's only her 11th appearance as a Bison this season.
Southern Nazarene has just won in the top of the 7th. They get an out at home on a single to the outfield, so a 6-5 SNU victory. And with that loss, should the Bison win this game, we're going to be right now in sole possession of first place.
Harding with 2 today, 1 tomorrow against Ouachita Baptist. The Bisons will be heavily favored of those 3. So Warden bats for Kennedy Clark. Shelby Warden of the season hitting .243, and the pitch is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. We'll have to see if Modelmog stays into the ball game. She is running for the designated player, Morgan Max. Pitch high and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bison pitch hitters hitting .246 on the year. Called strike, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Right down the middle. Got to go after that one.
Southwestern will have to score in the top of the 5th against Jones, or this game is over. Now the 1-2. Way outside. Sammy Green with a 2-out home run a moment ago. Pushing the advantage to 8-0. Here's the 3-2. Chased and foul tipped it. Carmo couldn't hold on. Shelby Warden this year in 37 at-bats has struck out 7 times. So for the most part, she makes pretty good contact. Yep. See if it continues here on a 2-2 pitch for Barkley. That one is lowered outside, and the count's full.
Well, as they say in the dugout, base hit, ball 4. It's that opportunity now for Warden.
The payoff pitch. Pop up, and that's slicing down the right field line, giving Chase his bowling, but to no advantage. And we're telling you about the OBU mobile app. You really need that, especially if you're a big supporter and follower of spring sports, because while there hadn't been a lot of postponements and cancellations, that certainly can be more the norm than it has been in 2023, and it's a great way to keep up on your favorite teams. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball left side, glove by the third baseman Jones, and then she kicks it. Heading for third base is Modelmog. The throw in, and Mia slides in safely, and now Warden takes second base.
So you got the E5 on the grounder right there, and then that's just a mental error too. There shouldn't be a runner on second base right now.
Nobody covered the bag.
Nope.
Right.
Hitting for the Bison, number 17, Megan Roberts.
Megan Roberts will now pinch hit. Chase Brewer down telling the home plate umpire and notifying him of the changes. Megan Roberts this year has only had 2 at-bats. She's 0 for 2. Roberts has played in 23 games. She has been used as a pinch runner or a courtesy runner most of the year. Base hit makes it 10-0. There are 2 outs. Here's Barkley's pitch. Downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Sam told you yesterday that she and Jessica Boone are very good friends, but she said, when we're out on the diamond, there is no friendship. That's to be expected. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. And I'm sure Jessica in that first base dugout feels the exact same way.
No, the mentee is trying to beat the mentor.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, chased one away, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Megan Roberts, a freshman from Ringling, Oklahoma. Here's the pitch. High and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. And a soft liner into right field. That's down for a base hit. 2 more runs. Well, 1 more is going to score. As Warden made a wide turn at third, and Chase was almost running behind her saying, get back here. So good job for Megan Roberts as she gets her first career D2 hit on a soft liner into right and pushes the advantage to 9-0. And they're at the quarters first and third, and don't be surprised if Roberts takes off here, as Campos now is going to walk to the plate.
Just a strong at-bat right there from Megan Roberts. And, hey, she competed hard. It had a 2-strike count and got a hold of a pretty good pitch.
Correction, it's Stanford hitting for Campos. She had an at-bat in the first ball game. Luckily, she will stay into the top of the 5th defensively as a catcher. Boy, it is great to have depth at catcher where you can get Campos a little bit of a breather in late games like this. Here's the first pitch to Haley, a strike, 0-1 the count. Haley Stanford, 1 for 6, 2 RBIs, hitting 167. Her 18th appearance of her freshman season. Now the pitch is low and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. We'll hear from Sam Maples. We also will hear from the player to be named. I like saying that because we don't know. We wait until Clayton decides, the boss, who will be on the postgame show.
Well, we are going to try, as we got to line her back into the glove of Westbrook, we are going to try to get Coach Maples right after the end of the game. So
OBU plates 3 runs. We go to the top of the 5th. Last chance for SWOSU. It's 9-0 OBU on the Bison Network.
After 4.
got a new pitcher for the Bison. It's number 21, J.C. Schaefer. Let's give a rundown on J.C., who's seen a lot of action this season. We'll pull up her stat line right now. Schaefer, 3.55 ERA. This is her 7th appearance. 21 2/3 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 12 walks, 11 earned runs. Opponents batting .205.
She'll take over for Kaylee Jones, who's on line to win her 2nd of the weekend, her 23rd of the ball game. Tied her for the single-season record for most pitching victories by a Bison hurler. She worked 4 innings, no earned runs, 1 hit, 5 strikeouts, no walks. So J.C. Schaefer will take over the 5th inning against Southwestern, trying to end this thing after 5. She'll get Hibbler to lead off the 5th inning. First pitch is swung on a foul tip for a strike. It's 0-1. Warden is in at first base. Stanford is the catcher. Both batted in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bison with 3 runs, 4 hits, and 1 Southwestern error. 20 hits in the 2 games today for Oklahoma Baptist, who came into the top part of the conference, batting over 300. Pop up and out of play in the countdown, no balls, 2 strikes. So Kaylee Jones about to move to 23-5. She began the weekend needing 5 victories to become the all-time winningest pitcher in OBU softball history. That was the career was ended in 2003. Slow roller, right side. Second baseman has it and on to first. And that is out number 1. That is Megan Roberts that's out at second base now. So 1 up, 1 down against J.C. Schaefer. And here is Soraya Jones. Jones struck out swinging back in the 3rd inning. And Schaefer's first pitch is a strike, 0-1 the count. Busy students can keep up with their finances day or night using Tinker Federal Credit Union's convenient online services and mobile app. Visit them online at tinkerfcu.org for more information. Now Schaefer's 0-1. Hit off the end of the bat and rolled foul. No balls, 2 strikes. So Schaefer has come in and done a very good job in throwing strikes. In fact, her first 5 pitches all have been of the zone, and she's retired the first Bulldog she's faced here in the 5th. Schaefer gets the sign, now brings it home. That one is low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The career wins total was set by Kenna Freeman. Her career ended in 2003. Here's the pitch. Just missed, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Schaefer winds. The 2-2 is high and away. Schaefer 1-1. Clayton told you a 3.5 earned run average. This is only her 7th appearance, 3rd in relief. Her first since last week against East Central. Prior to that, she had not pitched since March the 14th, and she walks Sierra Jones. Schaefer has had control problems when she's been to the ball game. She has walked 4 batters on 2 occasions against Newman and Southeastern. She's walked multiple base runners one another time. That was on a win over Union University in the first weekend of the year. And now has walked at least 1 batter in 6 of 7 trips to the circle. First pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. She's a freshman from Surreal. Played 4 years of softball in high school, was a first-team All-State pitcher. Her club was the state runner-up in 2021. Now the 1-0 pitch. Fly ball into center field. Easy play there for Sammy Green, and that's out number 2. Reagan Ford actually is in center field now and not Sammy Green. So Ford was the one that handled that play.
Pitch hitting number 21, Cooper Chaot.
Cooper Chaot now will get it at bat. Hits for Macy Buss here in the 5th. So Southwestern needs 2 runs here in the 5th to force the Bison to bat. Or this game will be over in run rule fashion, and Oklahoma Baptist will have swept Southwestern back to Weatherford. SWOSU, though, has battled, much to their credit, the entire weekend. This has been the only real game that has gotten out of control, and that was because of a 6-run first. Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. You take that 6-run first inning off against Brianna Cryer, and it's just 3-0. Barkley has been admirable in relief. 1-0 pitch, fastball strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. J.C. Schaefer, an exercise science major here on Bison Hill, has 2 brothers, family of 5. Here's the pitch. Downstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. 9 runs, 10 hits for 23rd ranked Oklahoma Baptist. No runs, 1 hit. For Southwestern, they've committed the only error of the ball game. Now Schaefer's 2-1 pitch. Fouled off, and the game's down to a final strike here in the 5th. Clayton Kaufman has made his way down towards the dugout. We'll be hearing from Clayton along with Sam Maples here momentarily. Schaefer looks over to Maples, gets the sign. Now the pitch. And she ties her up, a bouncing ball fair on the first base side, and Warden will tag out Chaot, and that will end the ball game. So Oklahoma Baptist with a 5-inning run rule victory over Southwestern wins it 9-0. That coupled with Southern Nazarene's Game 3 victory over Southeastern, and at least for the time being OBU, is a full game ahead of Harding and Southeastern for first place in the Great American Conference standings. Let's go downstairs. Here is Clayton standing by with Sam Maples.
2 questions, Coach. We get the series sweep, and we are now at 33 wins this season. Most ever. We tied it again, Coach. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I thought we played really well today and got the offense going.
Yeah, 6 runs in the first inning, and Morgan Max was outstanding today.
Yes, it was great to see her get in the circle, get JC in there a little bit. Yeah, we're really happy with that.
Coach, congrats. We'll talk with Morgan in a little bit. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Todd, back up to you.
Appreciate Sam giving us a quick interview before she goes down in left field to addresses the team. OBU wins it today 9-0. 9 runs, 10 hits, no errors for OBU. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for Southwestern. SWOSU dips to 9-33 of the season. They are 4-19 of the conference. Oklahoma Baptist with win number 33, tied last year's Division II era mark for most victories in a season. 33-9 of the Bison. They also are 18-5, and for the time being in sole possession of first place in the Great American Conference standings. We'll take a break. We're going to hear from Morgan Max here momentarily on our postgame show. OBU sweeps Southwestern, winning today 5-2, and the final game 9-0 here with the Bison Sports Network. Hi again, everybody, and welcome back here to Bison Softball Park. We'll go downstairs here in just a moment to Clayton Kaufman as he awaits Morgan Max, who really had a good day in both games of the doubleheader. Morgan Max, a 3-run home run in the first inning as part of that 6-run, 5-hit start for OBU that propelled them to a 5-inning, 9-0 win over Southwestern. She also homered in last night's game, so she had a really big weekend both in the circle and at the plate for OBU. Here again is Clayton with Morgan.
Thanks, Todd. Joined by Morgan Max. Morgan, some big hits today for you. Your performance was really good. I thought it lifted us, especially in that first inning with that 6th spot.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, just get ahead early, get something good, and just drive it out.
Did this team respond well in your eyes after a sluggish day yesterday?
I think so. I think our mindset was different, and we just really tried to come out strong and just put it away.
I quickly said to Sam, we've reached 33 wins. We had that last year. We're obviously going to surpass it and have the most wins in D2 program history. What does that mean for you coming in this your first year and being a part of something real special?
I think it's kind of cool just coming in and we're making a difference and we're putting our name out there as a team, just making a statement for ourselves.
Final thought, we're going to play Southern Nazarene on Tuesday night, and that was a close series here. What's going to be the key for us against the Crimson Storm?
I think just coming out with all the energy that we've had this weekend and just keep swinging.
Thanks, Morgan.
Thank you.
It actually is going to be a afternoon start at 3 o'clock at Bethany on Tuesday. OBU at Southern Nazarene. Our next action will be part of a doubleheader next Friday night. 5 and 7 into the lights here at Bison Softball Park. OBU and Ouachita Baptist with a pregame show at 4:45. The two teams will play a single game on Saturday starting at noon. That's April 14th and 15th right back here in Shawnee. Baseball wins 5-0 today in Weatherford. Softball wins 5-2, 9-0 here over Southwestern in Shawnee. And again, our next broadcast coming up on April the 14th, 4:45 before a 5 o'clock doubleheader, Oklahoma Baptist and Ouachita. Until then, for our entire Bison Sports Network crew, I'm Todd Miller. Have a safe and happy Easter, and we'll see you next week right here on the Bison Sports Network.